Oh, what's good with it? We love. How's it going? Wait for some people to hop in here before I start cooking. Ain't been on StreamYard in a little bit. I see you playing the theme of the Full House. I should have came into the live with that, but they might copyright me. Careful boxing, what up? GAB, what up? Talk to me, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. We're gonna have an open discussion tonight. I saw something that was very troubling. We're gonna have an open forum. When was it officially on? When I say is it ducking, right? I'm going to talk about like a laundry list of things. But I feel like fans have a unrealistic perception of what ducking is. And we're going to address some shit tonight though. I saw something that was really troubling. I saw Senior and Bill Haney go back and forth. And it went from just banter to like getting personal. And you already know that like the internet's the internet, but the internet can spill over into real life. And shit like that has the potential to go left. And I'm one of those guys that I don't really play well on the internet, yo. I don't I don't really play well on the internet in the sense of some shit that is said on the internet that could spin me out and have me do some shit in real life. And you got guys that really understand that the internet is the internet and they don't go beyond that. But then you got guys that you say something to them on the internet, then I need to put pause on you in real life. I don't want it to be one of them situations because I know Norman stands on what he feels, and I know Bill's not for play. I don't want it to be a situation where two guys that's not supposed to fight in real life end up getting into something or getting into some street shit, all because their sons are going to fight for millions of dollars. For everybody that probably saw their interaction, we're gonna start with that. What's your thoughts on the whole situation, Greggy J?
I think we was talking about it earlier, and I saw the clip, and I thought you was like hyping it up, and then when I seen how Bill went at him, I'm like, yo, that's kind of crazy. And then
Yo,
Brian Norman, he was trying to chill, but then it was like, oh, you keep saying little shit, I gotta say something back, and I thought that was
the longer clip was Brian Norman Sr. didn't like Bill kept saying, like, nigga. Like,
yeah,
yo, like, well, we sent an offer, nigga. And then
yeah.
Brian Norman wanted to rumble him. Like, okay, well, how about me and you get in the ring in November? And that's what spilled over in the your mama a bitch and all that. After Brian Norman called him a bitch, your mama a bitch. And then it just went left.
Mm. I think that's going too far because, like you was saying, some people can play the internet game and some people can't. You know what I mean? Some people don't do good with that type of shit. And I just think that's some young boy shit. That's the shit the rappers do now. They talk about each other, dead folks and all that, and they fuck your mom. Like that shit that, what I mean, we never played about. So to see two old heads going at it like that, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. I think it's bad business.
Johnny, what's your thoughts?
I didn't get to see the most recent video y'all must be talking about.
It's on True Media Sports, I think.
Yeah.
True Media Sports. I
True
think that's
school,
Yeah,
true school media, something like that.
no,
True
not
School.
there's
Oh,
True
that's the
School
boy.
Sports. That's my man BT. But
Yeah,
I think True Media.
yeah,
I think that's his shit, bro. If it's not, I apologize, but I think that's his channel.
yeah, Coach Malachi,
Yeah,
The dude, Coach Malachi. That's whose
yeah,
platform it was. I'm
no,
not sure. I just know him as Coach Malachi, but I think that's his channel.
yeah, send it to me. I think I seen the first when they first went live. I don't know if they went live with each other. Was that on the Boxing Voice or Mills? I think I seen that when they was first like talking about it and shit like that. But I didn't see where they really like went beyond boxing.
Oh, it went well beyond boxing.
yeah. It
I
was crazy.
mean, you got both. I wouldn't say Bill Haney. I think Bill Haney does stuff more with a strategic, business wise than Norman. Norman, I just
But
know they both emotional. I'll put it that way. Just
but but Johnny, but if me and you talking and we trying to negotiate something or we just trying to build something, and I say, man, Johnny, fuck your mom, bro.
Oh yeah,
Is
he said about it was good.
no,
is that
yeah.
is that
Now,
is that you know?
yeah, now you're going into more like street words. You could, if you say "fuck me," this and that, you can still take it business because you could think about it like, all right, we building this shit. But when you say "fuck people's mom" or this the dead family members that don't really got nothing to do with it, yeah, you taking it now. You taking it a little like beyond what it should be.
And then when Norman he returned with nigga go dig your mom up. You know what I mean, saying shit like that. He ain't want to say no shit like that, but Bill kept saying, fuck that bitch, fuck your mom. And then when he said that to Bill, Bill was like, nigga, we all got a date. We all gonna die. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that. Like, I think, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to take that shit.
Nah, it just went
You
somewhere
got
it ain't
yeah,
have to go.
you got two emotional fathers just by knowing and like being around and just knowing their characters. You got two emotional fathers. Because one thing I can say about Bill beyond boxing, he put, how can you say, they both pressure their kids into more than what it is. So I'm not shocked at all. We can't sit here and be like we are shocked and all that it went. You got two emotional ass fathers.
Man, yeah, this internet joint is crazy. Like you were saying, Mill. Like folks will say stuff on the internet, and like we pretty much around from an era where if people say something, then you got to come see them.
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
you
mean? So all that, the back and forth that was going down on Coach Malachi's joint, I was like, yo, what in the world are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Especially, like Greg said, like you have two sons that if they step in the ring, they can step in the ring and make money, you know what I'm saying, for a fight. But y'all on the internet on these shows like chopping it up like y'all about to go rumble yourselves, and that wouldn't be in the ring, that would be outside the ring. So I'm like, they gotta tone that down, yo.
Yo, can I speak on it?
Go ahead, bro.
All right, first I just want to address YSM, man. I appreciate you bringing me on. I know you don't know who I am, so I appreciate you bringing me on. And that's Greg Hackett.
Yeah, what's going
Yeah,
on?
man, what's going on, bro? I watch you a lot, bro. Look, I just wanted to speak to y'all too, bro. Address the man. But man, I'm about to rock the boat, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just want to prepare y'all before I do. I don't understand why people talking like this big confusion going on. From what I've been seeing, man, from what I've seen from day one, Devin Haney been wanting this smoke from day one with Brian Norman Jr. And I'm from the South. So I rock with Brian Norman Jr. I don't have nothing against Brian Norman Jr. at all. But from what I seen is they had shaky behavior from day one. From the moment Devin Haney said he wanted Brian Norman, they ain't never roared back and say I want you too. It was always, well, yeah, we can, but we can do this, but we waiting on the Manny and Barrios winner, but it was always a but with it. Now it comes out that they trainer, not Bill Haney, nobody from DHP, it's they trainer saying, yeah, negotiations fell through and the fight is off.
You
I
talking
didn't
about
hear
their
that from
manager.
Devin Haney.
You talking about their manager, Adrian Clark.
Yes. Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is all the shakiness is coming from one side, but everybody want to paint it like, oh yeah, it's both of them doing it. And going back to what y'all was saying about them going at each other and they had the fighting words, talking about each other, mama. Yeah, stuff got heated. They both too old for that, but they did apologize. They apologize, and the way I get down, I don't know how they get down, but the way I get down, I can go with it with you. It can be heated on 100, bro. But if we can be man to man and say, you know what, we gonna squash it right here. We shake hands on that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna feel like that never happened if we both agree that we gonna let it go. And I felt like that's how they looked at it. So I don't think that's a reason why the fight should have fell through. On top of that, if that's even more reason to want to see it go down. If it was that heated, why walk away from it at that point? What you gonna say? Your feelings was hurt? Oh yeah, you hurt my feelings. I don't want to fight him no more. That's not how I get down, bro. So what I'm saying is we don't watch this back to back, and I know y'all might not. I don't know how y'all feel about the Haneys, but right now it's a lot of hate going towards that young man for any reason. For any reason. Because we just saw this with T.O. T.O. was in negotiation with Devin Haney, walked away, everybody blamed Devin. Matias at 140 was in negotiation with Devin Haney, walked away, everybody blamed Devin. Now Brian Norman Jr. was in a negotiation with Devin Haney. His team walked away, and Devin Haney is still taking the blame for it. This got to stop somewhere, bro. From what I understand, this a black YouTube channel. You got enough of these other people tearing this dude down. Everywhere I look, Devin being teared down, or are they trying to give him blame for something he not even doing?
Are you assuming that we're gonna tear Dev down, or you just saying that in
Well, no,
general?
I don't know. I just came up. That's why I say I ain't saying. I'm just really speaking. I ain't saying y'all did that. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying that everywhere I go, I'm letting it be known because I done sat back long enough. I'm not gonna sit up here and tolerate this if we don't know what happened. I know what happened. Brian Norman, they team walked away from it.
Inside the square circle,
Hey,
what
wait. Do me a favor. Yo, I was just gonna ask him to hit the if you're not talking, hit the mute button because I think somebody got like a small echo. Go ahead. Whoever gonna talk, go ahead.
no, I was going to talk. If what's your name inside the square circle, King Judah? If you paid attention, man, we always been knew Brian Norman's a big goofy. Here's what I gotta say about Brian Norman. Even he said it. If you talk back when the boost negotiations, I don't gotta fight. My son is only 23 years old. We could just build him in the WBO. That's all he gonna do is type. He's gonna talk a lot, go out negotiations, and just outprice himself. I told people, I think I sent in a group text earlier, I will place money that Brian Norman's next fight is Alexis Rocha. I will bet anybody that's Brian Norman's next fight.
I like that fight though.
Yeah, that'll be a good fight, but I'm gonna tell you what's going around right now. A lot of people in the circles that I talk with. The theory is, I'm not saying Boots. I mean, no, not Boots. I'm sorry. I'm not saying Brian Norman is scary, right? I'm not saying it's a fear thing. A lot of people believe that Top Rank and Bob Arum had other plans for him that didn't include Devin Haney. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people believe that's why they pulling out of this, that it might be coming from Bob. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'd rather y'all tell me because I know y'all way closer to what's going on than I am.
I'll be 100 with you, Bob. People blaming Bob. Bob wants him to get into big fights. Bob actually wanted him to fight Boots because you know why? They don't got to put none of their budget to it. They just collect. Is
Right.
that inside is Jolene, the boy Adrian Clark, and the Normans. They do that playing like they have this. They just spin narratives and all that shit. That's why Brian Norman Sr. just be going around talking. Like, I'm not sure exactly. I didn't see the last video with him and Devin Haney. I thought it'd be a good fight. I've been mentioned on the last YSM interview. Yo, Brian Norman, you're just talking. Y'all just clout chasing. You should be concentrating on Devin Haney because that's a big fight. If you can't unify, you concentrate on Devin Haney. He just talking, but he already know. He's like, my son is young. We got time. That's why I said they're going to fight the WBO ratings.
Right. And like I said, bro, my thing is I'm to the point.
Judah, real fast. My man EH hasn't said his piece. EH, come on.
I didn't watch the video because to be quite honest with you, I'm a little bit sick of the Normans, bro. Like I'm tired of all of that. It's just the culture that we live in now. Like, and it's surprising to me because me and Bill is like around the same age. Like Norman probably a little bit younger than us, but it's surprising to me that now the entertainment is just motherfuckers back and forth on the internet arguing with each other. Like that's the entertainment now. It ain't even about the fights. It's about all of the peripheral shit that go around it, and most of the shit is happening on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually on here talking about a fight that we wanted to see, but we ain't even talking about the fight. We talking about the fathers arguing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I didn't watch it. Like whenever I see that shit, like I don't even watch it. I be wanting to hear some shit about the fight gonna happen. Like that's you know what I'm saying? And it's disappointing if that fight don't happen because that'd be a damn good fight. That'd be a damn good fight. So I don't know. I'm really I don't want to say disappointed, but I'm just surprised that and I like the fact that Bill talks because I know Devin isn't a big talker, and I think it's good to talk a little smack. You know what I mean? Keep it live. But sometimes I do think, and I seen Bill do it with Coach Calvin. Like he get to the point where he be disrespecting people, and it's surprising to me because he that old.
He always take it to a place where it's hard to come back from. If you tell me you're gonna punch me in my fucking mouth and all that shit, it's cool. When you start talking about loved ones and shit like that, it's like now I'm gonna go get my strap. Like now when I see you, it's gonna go someplace else. You know what I'm saying? Talking about my mom, girlfriend, kids, it can go someplace else.
I know Bill isn't a dummy, so I kind of feel like Bill is playing the game because, and this is just me saying this, it's like 95% of the world's population is goofy motherfuckers. They like all this silly, nut, dumb shit. So when you act like that, when you act like a fucking fool, that's what people want to see. And I feel like Bill is feeding to that. Because Bill ain't no dummy, man. Like Bill not no motherfucking dummy. And Bill being my age, being from Oakland, like that nigga got game, man. That nigga was raised up around players, man. So he's not dumb. So
Well, let me ask y'all this.
I feel like he goes that far, he goes that extreme because everything today is extreme. Like just with everything that people do as far as like everything is just extreme today. I don't care if it's fashion, I don't care if it's people's of expression of what they do. Like everything is extreme. So when you go over the top with what you do, it's gonna get attention. Whether people like it or dislike it, it's gonna get attention. And I feel like that's the role that he's playing right now because it ain't like that shit is not gonna come to nothing. That shit is not gonna come to nothing. And that's why like when you was going back and forth with Schofield Pop. Like you was just critiquing his son about boxing. He got all into some other shit. But dude don't really want no trouble. But they gonna say crazy shit because that's what sells. And you would think because they older cats that they could keep it at a level where okay, we might be talking shit to each other, we might disagree on something, but we gonna stay there. It's not like that today. Like people just go to the extreme, and that's why when you dealing with this kind of stuff, it's best to be able to let that shit fly over your head. It don't really mean nothing, man. The people that saying that shit, they ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like they just doing it.
Let me ask you this. YSM specifically, right? Because I'm piggybacking off what he's saying, but I want to ask you the question directly. Where would if Devin Haney been getting this much hate? Because this hate for Devin Haney didn't just start with the Ryan Garcia situation. It didn't just start last year. It didn't even start with the Lomachenko controversy that everybody claimed they saw. This started way back when Devin Haney first let it be known he wanted everybody, and he went one by one trying to get these fights, and all these fighters turned Devin Haney down publicly. Devin Haney been getting hate from the fan base ever since he shined the light on their favorite fighters that they didn't want to fight Devin. This been happening. So where would Devin be if Bill Haney didn't talk so much? If the whole boxing community came together and decided that we want to discredit Devin at every turn, blame him for everything, where would Devin Haney be if Bill Haney didn't talk so much? He wouldn't be nowhere.
I think that the Devin Haney hate is a symptom of a larger problem that I don't really like discuss on an open forum where where people that don't come from this demographic can speak on it. But I think the Devin Haney hate is a symptom to a bigger problem in the Black community. And I don't like it. I fucks with Dev. I feel like Bill be doing too much sometimes. I fuck with Junior. I fuck with Senior. I fuck with Bill, but I feel like, the fathers be doing too much sometimes.
Hey, so you saying that Bill Haney is a habitual line stepper?
He most certainly is.
I feel like he gotta be though, bro. Because like I keep trying to tell y'all, if Devin Haney gonna be discredited no matter what he do, because Devin have some amazing accomplishments for his age. If they gonna discredit him no matter what he do, what if Bill Haney didn't talk so much to keep his son name and his accomplishments in the forefront? They would collectively ignore Devin like he not even there.
Hey,
Here,
can I say something real quick?
hey,
I think it's crazy though, because I feel what my man saying about the disrespect for Devin Haney. That is true. But it's also true that his father is a habitual line stepper, because would you say to Eddie Hearn, fuck your mom? You know what I mean? Would you say that? Would you say to Bob Arum, fuck your mom? You know what I'm saying? That part is going too far. And the reason I'm saying that is because everything you just said about his son accomplishments and Junior is now getting there. That's a way of trying to belittle you. Like, man, fuck you, fuck your mom, and fuck this and that. But you ain't why if we trying to sell a fight, why do I gotta take the rapper route and go as far as saying fuck your mom? Like, and I think today's day and time, we are hooked on to bullshit, and everybody's just paying attention to the bullshit. But some of us are traumatized from the places we live, and we still feel like, oh, that's going too far. We might have to do something about this, or
yeah.
something might happen over this. You know what I'm saying? And I think some people look at their situation like a Bill Haney. I run around with a couple security guards. I got some guys with me. I got my sons with me. Ain't nobody gonna do shit to me. But everybody don't play by them rules. So I'm saying, why even enter that realm where we talking like that? I get saying, oh, you bitch ass nigga, you ain't want to fight when we offered you to fight, or when you had a chance to take the fight. I get all of that. But once you start saying fuck this and fuck that, because look at it like this: my daughter been in a couple videos. Mills shot with me. I'm already on somebody ass about this type of shit, so it's cool. But
Oh yeah.
you already know who ass I'm on. You already know. I ain't nothing changed. Uh,
Hey, real,
but
real fast, Jay. I'm gonna step away because I got somebody in the back, Mark Mazuma. So I'm gonna step away and then give him a chance to give his thoughts. Go ahead, finish, Jay.
oh, go ahead. I'm gonna just sum it up. I'm
No,
just
no, no,
saying,
no.
like,
Finish. No, I'm just telling y'all. I'm gonna step away real fast.
I'm just saying though, like, I mean, it do got to be some type of line, like, because these one thing people know about boxing, it's a small community, and you is gonna run into each other. You know what I mean? It is gonna be, and I think for all the money they making and shit like that, it'd be some bullshit to get booked on some assault charge type shit or some. You know what I mean? I just think that shit corny, for real, for real.
Yeah,
I
I just
respect.
oh,
I
go ahead, my
respect what
bad.
they. My bad. I respect what they doing in the sport. I really do. But all of that shit, I don't be really like that shit. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, Bill, they should have never, bro. I'm at this point now. I've been watching, I've been watching boxing for a long time, bro. I'm like I said, I'm not on the level of y'all. I ain't been around it that long, bro. But I know this sport, bro. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I even participated in. I never went pro, but I know this. I'm not just somebody who a casual fan. That's what I'm trying to tell you, right?
Right.
So with that being said, bro, I'm watching how everything unfolding, bro. I'm looking at how the other side, and when I say other side, bro, I mean other races, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at how they get money, how they fan base back them. I'm looking at how certain sanctions move pieces around in their favor because of the support they get from their people. And I'm
Hmm.
looking at how our fighters gotta work twice as hard to get half as far. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Because we don't have that same support. We do support, but it's like we so divided that in the black community, you just choose which black fighter get that support, and the other ones is fuck them. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what happened to Devin Haney in the case of Devin Haney versus Tank Davis. The black people chose Tank, and it was fuck Devin. Now you
Mm.
got Boots coming up. Now I ain't saying that with Boots, bro. I think Boots got more love congruently from the black community. I mean, they got some people that don't like him, but overall, the black community like Boots. You see what I'm saying? Boots got a lot of what we like. He flashy. He don't have no weaknesses. So Boots got a lot of what we like. So they follow Boots anyway. But it's only a matter of time, bro. What's gonna happen if somebody that got close to the skill of Boots come up, but he more thuggish, right? The pattern show that the black community gonna jump behind him now as fuck Boots.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
That's
saying? So what I'm saying is, bro, we don't have a code, bro, like in boxing. So I say all that to say this. What Bill and Brian Norman did wasn't cool, bro, because I'm to the point now in boxing. I feel like black men should treat each other like brothers until another brother make you act otherwise. I think it's time, bro, for us to stop showing division. We offer division to other people to see. They don't let us see them divided, bro.
real shit.
Going back to your question when it comes to Devin Haney, right? I've been peeped this about Devin Haney. This is when he first coming up. A lot of his peers, I'm talking about like 2016, I'll say 2016 amateur class, right? Because I speak to a lot of them, was cordial with Devin Haney even coming up. Devin A. Haney had a target on his back. They all wanted Devin Haney because they felt like he had a situation that most can't, where Bill Haney and them already had money behind him and was able to move him by himself. Most of these boxers did. So I could say it's a little jealousy thing, but also by knowing Bill, not saying there's a lot of stuff even outside the media he does that annoys people, but that's his personality. Good dude, but when it comes to competitive, there's situations I heard about where he's competitive outside the media and shit went down. So when it came to, that's why I'm like, I'm not shocked about hearing with Bill, and especially by knowing Brian Norman. You could ask Mill behind the scenes when that whole Boots and Brian Norman situation first was going down. I was like, think about it, Stanionis, Barrios, and Brian Norman was champions. I was like, Brian Norman Sr. is going to be the one to take the bait and make a whole big deal out of it. What happened? I know his personality. He's emotional. He's a weirdo. So I can't sit here and act shocked that it went that far with each other because by knowing their personalities.
Yeah, my thing is, bro, I just don't want this situation to be another situation where this fight don't happen and they leave it ambiguous. Because again, bro, I know y'all gonna hear a pattern with me, bro. I'm sick of it because if you leave it ambiguous of why the fight fell apart, the whole world gonna blame Devin Haney for it. Man, let's find out what
That's
really happened, bro. I don't want this to be another
that
ambiguous fight that fell through with Devin Haney because I just named y'all multiple people that into negotiation with Devin and walked away from it.
you can't. One thing you gotta learn: you can't control media and their narratives. Right now, they try to. You see all these platforms and all these people trying to say that Boots ducked Brian Norman. You can't control it. You
Right.
could
I'm
tell
trying to
them. You could
confuse.
show them. You could
Yeah.
show them proof. You could show them timetables. And their delusional head, they're not going to want to if they want to, if they don't like that person. So that's something you
That's
can't
fact.
worry about. Devin Haney's in a position where a lot of people are not going to like him, which is kind of a good position. That means he can get a lot of views, stuff like that. Y'all going to still watch him. But what I'm saying is, I'm not shocked at all. Brian Norman's going to outprice himself. That's what he's going to do. It's been repeat. He did it 3 times. He's going to outprice himself. Then
Yeah.
say, oh, yeah, he didn't want to fight. Same thing I see happening with Devin. He ain't over the argument and all that. They probably got offered $2 million. He gonna probably be like, no, we deserve at least 3 to 4 million. That's what they doing. They painting a narrative.
Hey, well, apparently, from what I heard about the Turkey Alley Sheik offer, they asked Brian Norman. I don't know. I think it was Brian Norman Senior about the money they was offering, and he said that they was happy about what Turkey was gonna give them. So it can't be the money.
Uh, He said that all the time. Yeah, the money ain't an issue. The money, they outprice themselves. That's what they got a vision for the kid. They gonna outprice himself and fight a couple WBO people. Who they think about Sensaki. That wasn't no mandatory. He chose. They knew the situation. They could have fought Boots.
Yeah. in their situation, like I was talking about with Top Rank is they got to know that Top Rank ain't had that network deal with ESPN. That was expiring. So now it's like, okay, if you ain't got a network deal, how are you going to invest in my fighter? Because you don't even know what your budget is. So
It,
now they pretty much like shopping around like they're a free agent of sorts because they ain't really got no real home as of yet because they don't know what Top Rank's doing. So that's why they asking for 2 million, 2.5 or whatever it is, because one, yeah, they got to give up that percentage to Top Rank, but then two, they like you were saying, like they still got to pay the managers and all of them.
it's not even about the top ranked platform because, say for example, right when they came to Boots, it would have came out of Matchroom's budget. If it's coming out of Riot's budget, what's going on is even top. That's why I was saying when people try to say, "Oh yeah, Top Rank," no, Top Rank want them to fight. Top Rank, what's Top Rank playing for them? They put him on a co-main. They put him on a co-main with under what's her name, Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela Mayer and
Yeah,
Sandy
Michaela
Ryan.
Mayer. What's really the vision for them? So Top Rank wanted him to take the Boots fight. They would have collected a percentage and kept it going. Same thing with this. You think Top Rank is actually making it hard? Riot season is Turkey is putting up the budget. They don't got to put up their own budget. What I'm saying is they're going to keep on outpricing themselves. It's not Top Rank. It's Adrian Broner. I always call. I have
Yeah,
little
Adrian
history.
Clark. Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a little history with like Miss Piggy. That she be a little disrespectful with my name,
Oh, okay.
Jolene, and and Adrian Clark. It's them three. They got their own plan. They don't spin that narrative. Look at G, yeah, Miss Piggy, yeah.
What she do?
Man, she be running her fucking mouth. Like she came out of nowhere and she talks shit. She mad at me for a whole situation helping out Eddie Chambers when he was with main events. And she's still like,
Oh, you try to take her out before?
no, I never tried to take her out. I'm always a threat to smarten people up, but
Yeah.
it's a situation where he helped get out and he got way bigger money, and that was through me.
Mm.
So she always like out of nowhere, Brian Norman on Facebook, add me over there. Then I see Miss Piggy talking shit again. I'm like, come on. Brian Norman Sr., he's just a Miss Piggy slave, He was talking about the percentages and all that. I was like, yo, blame your two managers. Don't blame Boots for that.
Yeah. Mark, what's up, Mark?
What's going on, Greg? How y'all doing? I was just letting y'all, yeah, man, express yourselves and all that. Shout out to everybody that's on the panel, man. Um, yeah, Jamil sent me the link, man. So I'm gonna just provide my opinion because on some real stuff, I had just caught wind of like the whole back and forth they had on Coach Malachi channel, and considering the fact that people been discussing the possibility of Haney and Norman fighting, I was expecting this. I was expecting for Bill Haney and Brian Norman Sr. to bump heads eventually, and I was looking forward to it in all honesty. But the reason why I was looking forward to it because I thought that it was gonna be like boxing. You feel what I'm saying? Just watching that whole interview and how the way that whole thing turned out, getting other people on the phone to vouch for Brian Norman Sr.'s statements and seeing how the way Bill Haney reacted to it. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was just listening to that. Um, and, when we all some of us as content creators on here, so we know we done heard everything about like when people get in them comments, they say just about anything that's disrespectful, mentioning kids and mothers and wives and stuff like that. So we get a bit accustomed to it, just seeing it online and just understanding that just the internet is not real. But to see like two major like boxing figures in the sport right now just take it that far and mention people's mothers and stuff like that, man. I ain't gonna lie, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it was kind of disappointing in all honesty. I don't really like to see that. You know what I mean? I'm as competitive as can be, so I like to see fathers, be passionate about their kids and believing in their kids enough to, put them in, dangerous, high risk, yet high reward type of fights. So I was looking forward to seeing that exchange, but how the way that all unfolded, man, I didn't like that at all. You know what I mean?
So,
Um,
so hey, brother, let me ask you a question because you said you're a content creator, right?
Correct.
and the brother that was speaking earlier, King Judah. This is the other thing, and I didn't hear the brother King Judah mention this. He may have mentioned it, but I didn't hear it because I got on a little late. It ain't just the two people sometimes that's going back and forth with each other with this ignorance. What about the content creator that has the platform? Because see, a lot of times too, what happens is people want clicks.
Right.
They want to get
Right.
viewership. And when you, like I said, you know what I mean? And this ain't no disrespect to nobody, but in my view, 95% of the world's population like a lot of dickhead shit. So when you see grown men that's grandfathers like arguing like that, bro, some of us as teenagers didn't argue like that unless we was getting ready to fight. And I know that shit is about entertainment, but it's like, damn, we done got to the point where we gonna act like that for entertainment and for clicks and views, and then somebody would allow you on a platform to act like that because he know he gonna get a lot of views for that particular video. Like, I don't know. We talking more about this than we are about the fight. And that's the crazy thing. We might not even get the fight, but it'll be so many views and so many algorithms and all of this other stuff. Just a whole lot of action created about two men just on there disrespecting each other.
Well, let me say
Yeah.
this, but that's the point. That's the point I was trying to make is that because when I saw the argument, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I didn't put a lot of stock into it like a lot of people, bro. Where I'm from, people argue all the time, bro. Family members, brothers, people argue. You know, with men, but like I say, a man's supposed to be able to understand that after we had this argument, we're gonna solve it too. Either we beefing for life and something gotta happen, or we gonna squash it and let it go today. And from what I seen with them two, they let it go the same day. So I didn't think nothing much of it. My issue is you have a lot of people now saying that the fight fell through because of their argument. That's what I'm not gonna let fly. Don't sit up there and tell me that the fight fell through because they had an argument, man. Come on, bro. We all men, bro. We don't all argue with other men before. That's not a reason for you to walk away from millions of dollars because this dude hurt your feelings. Come on, man.
That's a fact. But all in all, just listening to that, man. I was expecting like to see like an entertaining trash talking back and forth, like, you know what I mean, you ain't messing with my son, and then like, nah, my son, nah, I'm a better coach than you. Like, I was expecting to hear stuff like that, man. But for it to get taken all the way there, I kind of left that video a bit disappointed. But regardless, I hope I still see the fight. That's still a great fight, and like you said, hopefully they feelings, don't get in the way of them making some generational wealth.
Yo,
Well, they
now
got
I
people in
see
the chat
people.
saying that the
Wait,
fight's
real
still
quick.
on, bro. From what I
Yeah,
understood,
wait. I was going to touch on that. You got people in the chat still saying that the fight is on, right? But the last I heard from uh, an actual representative, somebody in negotiations, that said it could potentially be off. But we already know this is boxing. Boxing is very fluid. Fights are on. Fights are off. It's always moving parts to this. Um, would you be surprised if this fight doesn't fall through? For me, no, I wouldn't be surprised. Public negotiations never go well. Public negotiations, to me, aren't smart because you're involving and inviting people that have no idea how a fight gets made. They equate fights getting made to, oh, that dude says something about you. Now you got to fight him. You know what I mean? And if you don't fight him, you a duck. You scared. And
what
so,
can,
wait, real fast. Let me land. Um, the people that actually know the boxing business, the managers and the promoters, you need to put pressure on them to make the fight. If the fighters want the fight, put pressure on your team to make something happen, as opposed to dudes coming out and they be talking figures, but they don't be talking figures, right? They be talking in vague terms. Like, if you're going to say it in the public, then say it. If you're not going to say everything, then go back behind closed doors when a fight can actually happen. Y'all can go ahead.
what I was gonna say is, bro, I agree with everything you saying. You ain't said nothing wrong, bro. Like everything you said was logical and is rooted in truth historically. But I do believe that right now we living in the digital age. Boxing is evolving right in front of us. Because I do believe, me personally, let's say if I'm in that situation, I know Greg boxed before. Let's say, bro, if I'm a Bill Haney and I got a son and we trying to make fights, right? I would do it publicly, bro. I'm gonna tell you why I would try to make the fight publicly. Because right now, when you do it behind closed doors like we did traditionally, and the fight fall through, the least popular guy gonna get the duck jacket. Don't know the fans don't know what really happened, but because you least popular than the guy they like, you get the duck jacket, and the duck jacket now is damaging to your career. When somebody label you a duck, that's damaging for you going forward. It's hard for you to go on to the fans when everybody, and you know everything viral now. So once everybody say you a duck, all the other casuals they hear about you, the first time they heard about you, the first thing they heard was you a duck. They don't know what really happened. They going off what the other 500 people said. So if I had to make a fight, I would make it public so it can be documented. When the fight fall through, everybody gonna know who really wanted it. I want it to be public.
Here's the thing though. Everybody involved, it'd be like two trainers talking about the fight. No disrespect, right? They're not putting up the budget for the fight. One, they're not the ones who are fighting. Two, they're not the ones that actually negotiate the fight. So unless you're gonna have the fighters, the trainers, the network, the promoters, and the fucking managers all on one fucking StreamYard where they're talking and hashing this out, and it's irrelevant because a fighter can want to fight, but what if the network don't want it? Or what if the network doesn't think the fight is worth that much? They're the ones that's putting up the bread. What if Turkey don't like the fight? What if the managers have a different plan for the fighter? What if the promoters have a different plan? What if the promoter doesn't have the proper budget? There's a whole bunch of mitigating factors and moving fucking parts. And you got these fans with YouTube channels speaking on situations that they didn't have no idea of. And the last part I'm going to say is this, right? I got into an argument with Senior on a Twitter space yesterday, and he made a comment like, you know, that he was directly tied in and that he's directly tied into the source and that I'm not tied into the source. I feel like people shouldn't assume who other people talk to, what connections other people have, right? I'm not going to say who I talk to on a frequent basis. That's not my thing. But you'd be surprised, people that's high up, who their friends are in the media. We serve a purpose. JR can vouch for this. We serve a purpose and we serve an agenda to them, right? Whether we go with it or not. But it behooves them to have friends in media. Do they feed us information? Yes, they do. Do they feed us information that we can release or not release? Yes. But I'm saying you would be surprised who people talk to on a frequent basis. JR, do you agree or disagree?
I absolutely agree. And one of the things that you were talking about as far as like how fights are made or how they could, or what are major factors in the fights getting made? Networks. Definitely networks. Give you an example. Years ago, I know we're talking about, Devin Haney, but years ago, there was an instance where Devin Haney could have been in a fight with Gary Russell Jr. and that they followed up with it. Now, I talk with Gary Russell Jr. often and have done so for years. There was one instance where I talked with Gary Russell Jr. about the fight and his interest in the fight. The very next day, he's on a live in a conversation with Bill Haney, and Bill Haney tells him that they weren't interested in the fight, as in the zone. So that could basically show you that even if there could be a fight out there, if the networks ain't down for it, then that fight ain't gonna happen. So there are gonna be certain people out there that, yes, can be the main factor in a fight get made, but there are others that'll be out there that could talk a lot, but they ain't really, they don't have no pull in if a fight happens or not. So like, the fans and the content creators got to be careful with that.
That's a very good example because that was a whole big thing back and forth with Gary and Devin. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good example, bro.
Hey, EH, you know what's crazy? Is that me and JR knew 5 minutes after Keyshawn missed weight that it was highly likely that that fight wasn't going to happen. You know why? Because the people who make shit shake told us, we don't think this is going to go through.
It's like, nah, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
But
And you know what? And I think for people like me, who I'm just a fan who enjoy the sport, but I understand the intricacies of business. You know what I mean? And when you talk about all these people that's involved in making a fight, it's just like, all right, I want to see the fight. Whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? And that's why I understood early on. You can't necessarily call a person a duck. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I mean, I guess sometimes we feel like it when we dealing with a Joshua or with a Canelo because they have so much pull because the money is there. You know what I mean? So they kind of can say, look, man, I'm gonna bring the money in. You ain't gotta like the fight. You gonna make money off of it. I want to fight that guy. You know what I mean? But most fighters, even ones that are popular, even ones that are we'll like, even ones that are very entertainment, if the person who's putting the fight on that's gonna put the money up don't like the fight, we won't get it. You know what I'm saying?
But my
LeBron, what
thing
up?
is this my thing, bro. It gotta be some type of checks and balances, bro. Listen, bro. I'm not saying like you say it's intricate, right? It's hard to label who a duck in what situation is labeled a duck. But at least we gotta start celebrating the dudes that is chasing the big fights. No longer can we look at somebody who not even trying to make a big fight happen and we saying he that guy. But they gotta stop somewhere because let me tell you what's happening right now. Boots y'all guy. Man, look what's happening with Boots. Every time Boots want to challenge himself, the guy that he going after find a way to say no. Bro, right now, Boots just went to
No.
154, had in mind who he wanted at 154, and got ducked before he ever set foot in
Wait,
154.
wait. Listen. No, Jerron Ennis is the biggest duck of all time. He's scared of Tio. He's scared of Norman. He's scared of Death. He's scared of Virgil. He's scared of Bachram. Who else? Who else?
But look, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though, bro. Like we got us, bro. We have to be the ones. Hardcore fans have to. We have to lay the foundation, bro. Too many casuals running with the narrative. Because, like
Yo,
I said, all they gonna do to Boots right now. Let me tell you what they doing to Boots. When Boots say he want them, they say they don't want Boots. And then later on, the reason they say they don't want Boots, they'll say, well, Boots ain't fight nobody. Well, shit, every time you try to fight somebody, they don't want to fight him. Will that
But see,
leave him? Because that's going. Let me tell you who else that's going to happen to. They got an up and coming. Y'all know who he is, an up and coming fighter, Abdullah Mason. They are going to do the same thing that Abdullah
yes,
Mason that they doing to Boots.
yes. When you are the shiny new thing, everybody praises you. Everybody shows you love, right? But that's the little sweet spot where you the new thing. You done fuck somebody up, and now everybody's high on you. But then right after that, it's you ain't fight nobody. And then they try to find little chinks in your armor. Oh, he don't pull his hand back fast enough. Oh, that guy that he fought wasn't that good. And they start tearing you down. They build you up to tear you down. Just 4 years ago, Boots couldn't do no wrong. Now he's a duck. He's scared. And the crazy thing is, I hope Norman Sr.'s still watching this because what makes you laugh makes you cry. He's going on a lot of platforms pushing that agenda. You next. You next. They're not gonna allow you to get off the Jin Sasaki's, even if it's a solid opponent. They're gonna want to see you fight this somebody else. Or why you ain't fight this guy? Why you ain't fight that guy? Rashidi called you out. Rohan Polanco. Why you scared of Rolly? Why you scared of Giasaw? Oh man, you don't want to fight nobody. Oh, Boots offered you 1.7. Oh yes, you next.
Hey,
King Judah,
check this out, YSL. You talk about the thing there with Boots and with him coming up and people was talking about him and everything like that, right? But as soon as he became a little bit of a threat to a certain fighter at 147, then what happened?
Terrence Crawford. Hey, yo, Kai said they showed a clip of Bozy saying they would take the fight in a heartbeat. Crazy. Guess what? Last time I checked, Boots and Bozy's two different people.
Hey, King
See
Judah,
how that
this is
works?
something else that I've noticed. I mean, because I don't follow no other sports, you know what I'm saying, but boxing. But and I stand on this. People like you because they like you. Because we got big fighters, you know, in boxing that's been convicted and punished for cheating, using drugs, but people still support them. So it don't even matter, bro. You can have all the accolades that Devin got, everything that he's done, and he did it in the ring. Bro, people gonna like you. The people that like you gonna like you and support you and recognize what you've done. And the ones that don't like you, they'll just lie. They'll lie or they'll believe a lie. And I don't care how much truth you throw at them, it doesn't matter because they have the option to like who they want to like and dislike who they want. And that's just how it is. And I don't know what the rhyme or reason is. You know what I mean? Especially with a fighter like Devin. Because Devin, I mean, like, dude is a pretty decent young man. Just in general. Same way with Boots. Like,
Hey, yo,
I don't get it. But
real fast, right? My man said Ellis, Norman got no reason to fight Rashidi. Ellis ain't making no noise. And you got to be careful with those kind of arguments, EH, because when you say that, somebody can say, well, what noise Derek Quavers made? Have you ever seen Derek Quavers fight? Have you ever seen Jen Sasaki fight? You got to be careful with like regurgitating that kind of rhetoric, right, EH? Because it can be used against you. Jen Sasaki and Derek Quavers did nothing to deserve those fights. Did nothing to deserve a title shot.
But see, Mel, I saw the same thing with Canelo. When Canelo was fighting certain fighters and he didn't want to fight other fighters, and he'd be like, you ain't done nothing, you just want to payday. The fans that support him be like, well, that's just mandatory. Right. This guy didn't do anything. Like, it's just, you know, like, those kind of arguments is just so hard.
Bro, Rocky Fielding, what was the boy? Rocky Fielding and Avni Yildirim. He said that Andre, well, y'all a horrible fighter. You'll just want payday. But he fought Rocky Fielding and Avni Yildirim. And y'all let him say that Andre was a horrible. Andre is an Olympian, 2-division world champion, was undefeated. And y'all let him get away with that.
And he fought the guy you don't want to fight. You just can't win with these fans that's going to support somebody just because they're going to support them, just because they like them. You know what I mean? What can you say? They just like who they like. They don't necessarily, you know, or I ain't going to say they don't have a reason, but their reasoning doesn't necessarily have anything to do with boxing. You know, it might be race. It might be how somebody look. It might just be because somebody else like them, so they like them. You know what I mean? Like, that's why they call them casual fans. You know what I mean? And I'm not the type of I'm not the type of person that believes that as a boxer that you need to cater to casual fans, especially being a boxer. As a boxer, I think you need to be an expert at your craft and you need to get in that ring and execute. Because when you start trying to please people outside of your sport, I feel like it can distract you from what you're supposed to be doing. And that's being in tip-top condition and being focused for your fights. Because you're fighting. You're not playing basketball. Like, you're fighting. You cannot get distracted with this other stuff. And that's why I was so livid about what Turkey said. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you putting up the money or whatever, fine. Like, bro, if you don't like boxing, then don't get behind it. Somebody will. But don't tell these guys, especially these, you saying it, and it's a lot of young people that's coming up and listening that's in boxing. They may decide to abandon their skills and just go on there on some blood sport shit. You know, I just don't like what he said, man.
And that's my thing, you know, because I favor, you know, everybody, you know, you have different type of fans. You know, you have fans who like brawlers, right? You got fans who like boxers. I prefer boxers. I like to see boxing. You know what I'm saying? Jabs. So my thing is this here. I saw this a long time ago, bro. Like I'm new to y'all channel. Y'all don't know me, bro, but I float around the YouTube boxing scene, bro. People know me. I've been an advocate for boxing, and slowly but surely they've been trying to kill off the pure boxer. You can see it with the new casual fan who only like knockouts. You can see it with the judges now. You can see somebody outbox somebody for 12 rounds and lose a fight. because they trying to phase out the pure boxer, right? Now, my problem with that is, to me, bro, boxing has always been a beautiful sport and entertaining because of the different styles. If you discourage somebody from coming in and using their natural athleticism, their natural quick reflexes, their natural accuracy to be a pure boxer, and everybody just slugging in there, what the fuck we watching? I can watch World Star Hip Hop if I want to watch people slug.
Preach, preach, homie.
So
I
that's
can go to
my issue.
I can go to the fish fry, bro. I can go right down to $2 night and see that shit. Up close
Right,
and
and my
personal.
thing is, I told y'all I can box a little bit. I did a little boxing, bro. For far as the average man go, I'm pretty nice from the shoulders, but I'm not on these boxers level. So I like to watch them. I like to watch people do what I can't do. If I just want to watch people stand in front of each other and slug, shit, I've been doing that since grade school. You
That's
see what I'm
right.
saying? You ain't doing nothing I can't do.
That's right. I agree, bro. I agree. I love the sweet signs. I love it. Love it. Sure.
Yo, I do want to see this fight. I think this fight makes sense. I think that it's a 50-50 fight. I think if Dev keeps it mid to long range, Dev will win. I think if Brian closes the gap, he'll win. I do think Devin is the more experienced fighter. I do think Devin is the better fighter, but size, it matters. So you moving up in weight, you can be more skilled, you can be more gifted all you want. But sometimes that shit don't matter.
So
You know what I'm saying? The size gap is too much.
From what you know, in the rumblings you've been hearing, and the way things are shaking out, do you think we'll get this fight in the next 6 months?
I'm gonna keep it a being with you, right? I really ain't tapped in with Bill or whoever's doing their business. So
Okay.
honestly, I don't know. And
Okay.
with Senior, like Senior, he'll say that. I feel like there's a disconnect with Senior and Jolene and Adrian. What they want may not be what Senior wants. And Senior, I want to smoke, and Senior still wants to talk about Boots, but Adrian don't want to talk about Boots because Boots isn't at 154 pounds. You feel me?
Right.
And so I would only know if I actually talk to Bill and whoever's running DHP and Adrian and Jolene. That's who would tell me, or maybe talk to Brad, maybe talk to Bruce or Carl and find out exactly how they feel about this Devin Haney fight.
Right. So, and my thing is, I always wanted to see Devin. But when you were saying about the fight about Devin moving up, right? I'm with you. He can get up there, and it might not be what he thought it was, right? But also, it can go the other way. The thing is with Devin, bro, if y'all been paying attention to Devin and his fights at lower weight classes like 135 and even at 140, you will see Devin in camp. Devin will blow up like a welterweight or even somebody bigger than a welterweight. You can see his real muscle mass that he's supposed to have. But he was cutting so much muscle to make it to a fight that a lot of stuff we criticize him for all we know is because of how much muscle he actually drops before he steps in the ring. Devin Haney been criticized for having a weak chin or being wobbly when he get touched, not having power. Well, all that changes, bro. Like even his punch rates, all that changes when he adds weight. I believe that the best Devin Haney we gonna see is at 147.
Mm-hmm. Well, who else do y'all think Dev could fight going up to 147 if the Norman fight don't happen?
Who else was up there? I just had that one.
All right, so there's a whole bunch of shit shaking because
Rolly.
You got Shakram Giasov versus Rolly. That's going to be next. Who is it? Lewis Crocker and
Yeah, that rematch is supposed to be. I guess they working.
Who the other boy? It's Lewis Crocker versus and what's his name? Patty.
Yeah.
Patty Donovan.
Patty Donovan. Yeah.
Patty Donovan. That's going to be for the IBF. And y'all see people in the comments like, oh yeah, why did he move up? A day before the Gen Sasaki fight, bro. That dude moved up 4 weeks ago. Like you think I did a fucking video? Me and him never done a workout video with him lifting weights before, and you think that was just happen chance? That I filmed him working out, big as shit, him flexing, and I made that the thumbnail. Moved up 4 weeks ago, like 4 to 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Y'all just hear he just the announcement just came out now, but Eddie already slipped up damn near 2 weeks ago. It's like, yeah, he's moving to 54. So miss me with that narrative. But we got to see how shit shakes out. Honestly, is T.O. moving up? Is Africa gonna move up? Who's gonna take Rashidi Ellis? Because Rashidi Ellis is like ranked. What is he? 5th, 6th? Is the WBO going to order their mandatory because Brian Norman just had 2 defenses?
Can Rashidi still make 147?
Yeah, he can. He recently had a fight
At 47?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But how long can Rashidi do that though? You feel me?
Wow.
Like how long? Right? Like Rashidi been at welterweight 10 years.
Right, longer than Boots, yeah, because I heard Boots say 9 years, and we know when Rashidi was with Golden Boy, he was at welterweight. That's what I was thinking, and he older. I was thinking that when I watched the interview you did with him the other day. And I'm so glad you had him on there, man. You know what I mean? Just because we fuck with Boots don't mean we don't fuck with Rashidi. You know
Listen.
For sure.
I was the first person to ever push the Boots Rashidi fight. Me and G, I hope you're listening because you look like you're playing 2K too. Yeah, that's the 2K face. Me and G was talking about that fight while Rashidi was on his hiatus with Golden Boy. I even remember bringing that up to Boots, like, yo, I think Rashidi will fight you. And then we all know the situation where Rashidi wasn't happy with the money, but PBC had already set it up to where as though it was going to be Boots versus Karen, and then Rashidi versus Vila, and then the winners fighting each other. And that was supposed to be for the vacant IBF.
Yep.
And I thought Rashidi won that fight, but the rest is history. I wanted that fight bad because I like Rashidi. I think Rashidi is really talented, but I thought that would be the fight that Boots would get his credit for, because now you're looking at a guy with a skill set similar, not exactly, but now you see how would Boots do against speed? How would Boots do against a highly skilled fighter? Mm-hmm. And I thought that he would end up breaking Rashidi down in the later rounds. But after 4, I would have had it like 2-2 in my mind. Because I think that Rashidi's speed is hard to deal with. And eventually, it takes a while for you to get the timing.
Yep. Because, they were trying to build that fight because remember that press conference that they had before those 2 fights out in D.C., and they were next to each other. They were chopping it up like, hey, that we could have really had something.
I'm going to stop you right there. We was at the media workout, me and you, Jack. Yeah. We're standing right there, and then Rashidi's coming to the ring, and they said, for the IBF title eliminator. And I looked at you like, title eliminator? We turned and looked at an executive, we ain't going to say his name, PBC, and we was like, yo, this is a title eliminator? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh. He said, yeah, you smell what we cooking? I'm like, yo, bro, I got you. I got you. I see the play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they were really building that up so bad. Yeah, we could have, man, we could have had that, boy. Oh,
so what's next for Rashidi now?
Well, we're seeing if we could try to make that fight with him and Norman. But like I said, like you got to see what the situation is with Top Rank. So. But yeah,
who's he with? Who's Rashidi with?
Mill.
He's a free agent. He's a free agent. He's a free agent.
Oh, free agent. Okay.
Give me Rashidi versus Karen. Fuck it. So we should have got that night. Rashidi and Karen and Boots and Vila. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been it.
I think Rashidi and Karen will fucking mix.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Hell yeah.
Shoot.
And Norman's about to have, if he don't fight in Riyadh season, he's about to have a hometown in Atlanta in October, right?
Yeah.
Rashidi, that makes perfect sense. Dangerous as fuck. But since they said, Brian Norman far from normal, we want the smoke and we knocking dudes out. That would be a message to send, right? If you knock out Rashidi Ellis, that's the message.
Let me say this. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Because like I said, I know y'all be close to these fights. What I see might happen to Brian Norman. Brian, I might be jumping the gun, right? I feel like Devin Haney was the best fight for Brian Norman because the stigma that was about to be put on Brian Norman soon was he didn't fight nobody. With fighting Devin Haney, win, lose, or draw, puts you in a situation where you can always say, I fought somebody. We might be looking at a situation, but let's say people just decide they don't want to fight Brian Norman. They don't want to get put to sleep and lose their memory. And he start getting ducked. He gonna be in the same position that Shakur Stevenson is. He turned down 25% against Devin. Yeah, he turned down 20. Like I'm talking about Shakur now. You turned down 25% against Devin. Now look, you fast forward a couple of years. Now they got a lot of people who decide you're not worth it because they can always say, well, your resume ain't that strong, or you didn't sell this many pay-per-views. You could have killed two birds in one stone. You could, if you thought you could have beat Devin Haney, you could have became undisputed. You could have had your highest payday. You could have put Devin Haney on your resume. You could have had a pay-per-view fight. Right now, Shakur Stevens in no man's land. There's a lot of people that Shakur Stevens can beat, but it's a lot of people that accomplish more, or they're in a position where they made more money or had bigger fights where they can always tell Shakur, well, you know what, you're not worth it. But really what they saying is, I know you can beat me, so I don't want to fight you. But they can always tell the world, well, who is Shakur Stevenson?
I agree with that too. Shakur should have took that money. I just feel like if you know you could beat a guy and he got them accolades, you know what I mean? Go ahead and beat him, man. That's what Floyd did. Floyd took short money a lot of times until he became the man. Then when he became the man, he started calling shots. It's just like a lot of these guys, they want to claim the mantle and they not putting the work in and you're not beating your peers. How you gonna be with your peers and then don't want to fight them? Like
I think it was a lack of confidence because what he told the whole world is Devin ain't this and Devin ain't that. Now, me personally, right? This me, right? If you were so confident you can beat Devin handed everything to you on a silver platter. All he did was use the little bait. Now the bait was the 25%. That was to really see how bad you really wanted it. But if you knew for a fact you can go in there and whoop on Devin Haney, you would have snatched it. But you didn't. Because you wasn't 100% confident that you was gonna beat them.
Let's keep it big. Fighters are confident that they'll win fights, right? But here's the thing, though. I invested $400,000 in. Fuck your confidence, nigga. I need to get mine back. I need my ROI, right? You an Olympian. You know how much it fucking costs to move a silver medalist?
So you saying it's the team then?
That was his highest payday though, bro. No, YSM, am I wrong? Bro, that was still gonna be Shakur's highest payday though, right?
Yeah, but what you gotta factor in is this, right? Yeah, it's my highest payday, right? But if I take these 2 or 3 fights, like think about this. If you're the guy that put up the money, Dev is a risk. Dudes can talk like Shakur just gonna automatically beat Dev. No, it don't work that way. That sparring was razor thin. And now you adding the size that Dev's got. Now you adding the experience. It's going to be a good fight. So look, I could take this $2 million to fight Dev. I could take this $3 million, whatever it was, right? Or I can take this 1.5 and fight a Shishiro Yoshino, a Robson Kaseki. Remember, if I'm the manager and I'm taking 20%, 2 or 3 of those guaranteed wins. And I'm raising my dude's profile to where as though now when me and Dev get in there, I'm not taking 25%. I'm taking 45%. So now that $3 million is 7. Then I can cash out and take that risk against Devin, as opposed to me just rolling the dice on one shot. So I understand why they didn't. I'm not taking 25%. I'm not doing that if I'm Shakur.
Well, you know what? And I guess I'm more of a and y'all make a lot of sense for as business wise, bro. But I'm gonna be real with y'all, bro. I have an old school mentality. I'm a legacy type of person. If I was a boxer, I'd be a legacy type of person. I'm always looking at what fight what fight elevates me career wise. Now, I'm not saying y'all wrong because they do have. You can tell a lot. Every fighter move different. You can tell Devin obviously moved towards legacy. People like Tank and Shakur move towards finances, and that's fine. But
Crown,
I just think that. Go ahead.
Real fast, I gotta get to the super chat, bro. I appreciate the $5 super chat from my man Crown Jewel Box and subscribe to him. Shakur became Devin's mandatory and Devin moved up. Here's the problem with that, Crown. You a trainer, you know. Dev looked like a ghoul. He looked like a ghoul against Cambusos. Looked like the Crypt Keeper. Drained completely. Right? Then he came back. He wanted to move up then. Then everybody said, oh, if you don't fight Vasil Lomachenko, you duck it. Right? So then he fought Lomachenko. He always had the plan of moving up. Shakur Stevenson was the one that missed the weight and then moved up early. The Shakur Devin fight wasn't even talked about. Shakur misses weight against Rob Sekiao, and then all of a sudden, no, now I'm moving up. Feel me? That's when it became a thing. So I can't fault Dev for moving up if that was always my plan. Just because you end up moving up don't mean I got to stop what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't, continue to try to make 135 and waiting for you coming up. You, like Shakur didn't have that one defense of those unified titles after beating Valdez because he missed weight against Conceição. So it's like, well, all right, guess I got to move up. Then he has those fights, like you said, there in 135. Now he wants to call out Dev. I'm like, bet. But, yeah,
well, that lead even more to what I'm saying, bro. Devin Haney sat there, offered you all the belts. You did that mean you would have had a chance at all the belts without having no fights at 135. Devin Haney he let the whole world on Devin. Like, look at me, like you said, he was ghoulish. Devin, like, I can't even make this weight no more, but I will still give you an opportunity to fight me depleted for these belts. And Shakur still didn't want it.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I honestly, man, after hearing all this shit, the worst thing that ever happened in boxing was Mayweather making $200 million in one night. I say that because a lot of fighters got hooked on hearing those numbers, and they told themselves, "I gotta move just like that," and they don't understand where they are in their ages. At that time, Floyd was fighting whoever, any and whoever was supposed to be put in front of him. He earned that money, and I believe they all earn the money they make. But they hear numbers and they go crazy and they forget they not as popular as they think they are. They don't have people. They don't have people captivated the way they think they do. And they big headed, man. Because all of these dudes should be fighting each other. There shouldn't be no excuses. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to say.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. And see,
Yo,
Mill, everything you just explained about how these managers and promoters and other people, looking for their ROI, you know what I'm saying? They trying to make back some money off of what they invested in you. When King Judah was talking about, as a fighter, he would, negotiate in public. Like, that's exactly what would have to happen. Like, we would have to, when we negotiate and fight, we would have to let everybody know, well, look, my manager's suggesting I should take this fight because of this and this and that. Like, it would be real complicated. It would be really, really monotonous and complicated to try to inform fans and the public on every step you're taking about how you're trying to put a fight together because you want these legacy fights. And basically, you fighting with your team because they don't want you to take the fight, but you want to take the fight. And I believe in a lot of cases that's what's happening. But as a fighter, you're not going to talk publicly about your team and say that, man, they fighting me on this. You know what I mean? You're not going to do that because the team. I think some fighters just come up with some type of scenario, or they'll let their fans create a narrative and just let the public run with it about why a fight didn't happen. Well, honestly, they know it's just something that their team said. It might even been the network. Like Mill said, the net might be like, man, we don't want that fight.
Yo,
We ain't paying for that. It could be both.
Yeah. Wait, real fast, right? My man pound for pound said that seniors on Mill City Boxing right now saying some crazy shit about Boots. I got a question for him. Why the fuck is he still talking about Boots, though?
Right. Why he not
You
talking
just
about
talking
Devin?
about Dev. Why the fuck are you still talking about Boots, yo?
Hey,
But they go back to what I said,
YSM.
YSM. That's what I'm saying, bro. They moving funny to me because why you on Millie City talking about Boots? You supposed to be talking about Devin right now. Bill Haney and Devin Haney talking reckless, saying they gonna do something to Brian Norman, and you on Millie City talking about Boots.
Okay, so can I say something real quick? Did you
So,
guys hear the news that first of all, what's up YSM? What's up everybody in the panel? What's up everybody in the chat? I
what's
want
your
to give
name,
you a
bro?
little bit of Blue Hustle Man, my guy.
Blue Hustle
You know what I'm
Man.
saying?
Welcome, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Let me up on the panel. I'll be hopping on these things, man, having a little bit of fun. But I want to give you some pushback. But let me talk about what was just said right then. Um, about the situation that he's supposed to be concentrating on Devin. Well, right now something going out. Turkey just came out. I don't know if you guys just heard about that. Turkey just
No.
came out a little bit and said that the fight is off.
Oh my
Um,
god, bro.
yes. So there's something going on with the negotiation. Nobody knows what's going on right now. It could be between it could be the promoters or the manager, but they don't think they don't know who it is. They don't know what's going on. But the fight has been called off right now. Brian Norman Sr. came on there and said, and this is what we just heard off of the boxing voice. Brian Norman Sr. came in there and said that everything is pretty much done, but he don't see why the fight shouldn't be on still. So something clearly happened to where he doesn't even understand what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't want to have to be the one to break it to y'all like that, but well, fight with Devin has a chance of not happening. So him or Brian Norman.
Hey yo, but
Um
here's my thing, bro. And I appreciate you providing us that news.
mhm,
But bro, if you're negotiating a fight with Devin Haney or you're trying to get a fight with Devin Haney, why
mhm.
the fuck are you still talking about Gerard in the show?
But
Okay,
But
and so he
because they
said
didn't
he
want
no.
that.
So let me no. So what he said, he answered that before because somebody said, "Man, why you still talking about Boots? That fight's over with." He said because no matter what, he still wants that fight, and he wants to call him a duck still. You know what I'm
so,
saying? Because he
so
feels
wait,
like they
if
ducking
you
him because
still
he
want
wants
to
to
fight,
fight.
jump to 154 pounds and fight him then.
No, I know that. So, I can't really say anything about that. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving no pushback on that. So I understand where you're coming from when you say that, when you have your response right then. But I wanted to say something to you because the simple fact is when you mentioned Shakur, he should have took the 25%. But Shakur tried to actually make it real because he knew that because I talked to he was doing an interview with somebody and I got up there and talked to him. But I'll get to that point in a second. So what he did is he mandated it, and then he mandated he wanted to make the fight real so he can get at least 30%. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because a lot of people are saying that he wanted 50%. Which he's saying, okay, no, it was 25%. I wanted 30% at least because I feel like I want the
No,
fight, but I feel like
wait,
I can
bro.
get more money off of it.
I
Yeah, go
remember
ahead.
what you're talking about. He requested 50 though. He did. But of
Okay,
course,
so that was his
that's good
managing team.
business.
They did that.
No, I'm
Yeah,
saying that's
so
good
that was
business.
his.
Of course, I'll request 50.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So that obviously didn't work out right. So what he did is he said, okay, you just want to give me 25%. That's crazy. I'm not going to take that. Everybody knows what was said. You threw that offer at me, and I wasn't going to take that, little bro. So we gonna move that aside. So once he mandated it, he made it realistic. They honored it. It went to Devin Haney. They said you got a week to figure it out. You're either going to move up or you're going to stay. He waited to the whole. He exhausted the whole week out, and then finally said, "I need another extension." You see what I'm saying? I need another week. They granted
Hey,
him the
yo,
week, and then he
I
finally
got
said that
I
he
got a
moving
question
up.
for
Oh,
you though.
so
I got a
Can I
question for
say
you.
this? Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
No, I
Listen,
got a question for my man real fast though. I'm gonna ask you
mhm,
if I'm the undisputed champion and you're moving up to fight me, do you think
mhm.
I'm going to give up 50 fucking percent to you?
facts. You don't bring
So,
nothing
so,
to
so,
me.
so, no, 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 no. I don't think that. I don't think that you would. I don't think you deserve that. You
Yeah.
deserve to. But here's what I'm trying to say. So that 50% is doesn't even matter because that's not what he was going to get anyways. So it went from 25% to 30% because that's what he said. He said, I at least want the 30%. By me mandating, they at least have to give me 30%. You see what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
why he said he went that route of doing it like that. But when I heard what you said earlier, I was like, did everybody forget the reason why Shakur even did that shit? Is because the simple fact is Bill Haney said, we ain't moving up to 130. We're staying here with these belts, 135 for the rest of the year, for the whole year. He didn't do that. What he did is once he seen that when Shakur pulled the moves off that he did, he moved up. So
All right.
technically,
I need to say this one thing to you though. I
yeah,
need
go ahead.
you to start acknowledging the fact that what a trainer and a father feels may not be what the fighter feels. You feel me?
Understandable.
There's a there's a lot of times that trainers do interviews that don't necessarily coincide with what the fighter wants. And it's the fighter that has to cut the weight. You feel me?
Facts.
So a lot of
Facts.
times people be like, oh well, they said. Well, who said? Oh well, his dad, his trainer. Yeah, but did the fighter say that? And I'm not saying that what Bill didn't say came from Devin. I'm saying we gotta hold dudes accountable for what they say, not just somebody on their team. Go ahead, bro.
Well,
But
well,
let
yeah.
me.
So I understand what you're saying, and that's why I say some people. This is how I feel. I feel like it was a duck, but some other people might not feel like what you just said. You could say, look, that's not a duck because what if the response? What if it was just he changed his mind because his dad's the one like you just said made the statement and said what he said, but that doesn't mean that his son had to agree with it. So that's totally understandable. But maybe that could be the reason why he took 2 weeks because they're going back and forth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Well,
decide to
Real,
say, let's just move
real
up.
fast, bro.
So I'm a real
Appreciate the
person. I'm a
$5 super
realistic
chat
individual.
from
No, go,
Chin
my
Check
bad.
Charlie. Which one of Boots' former opponents can Norman beat? Honestly, bro. Um, can he beat or do I think he'll beat? Because I feel like Norman is capable of defeating everybody that Boots fought. But I do think that there's a couple of guys that are capable of beating Norman. I think Karen is capable of beating Norman. I think Velam, when Boots fought him, is capable of beating Norman. And I feel like Stanionis is capable of beating Norman. So, yeah, I would love to see those fights. I think Vila might be done now, but I would love to see Norman against Lipinets when Lipinets was Lipinets, Karen, or Stanionis. I like those fights. Go ahead,
Well,
Joe.
Hey,
can I?
the
Can I?
Bill
Let,
Haney joint too, right? Like there was like also a conversation that Bill Haney had with somebody that was, I guess, recorded where he had that little line saying, "We're all ready to go to 40, bro." Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So
let me say this, bro, because I mean, like I said, I heard your argument for why somebody may think Devin Haney is duck, and I think YSM looking at it the same way I'm looking at it. If I'm at 135 and I put all the work in, y'all don't remember, bro, how hard it was for Devin to even get a belt. A lot of these dudes didn't want to fight Devin, and their excuse was he didn't have a belt. And as soon as Devin got all the belts, Devin still tried to make a fight with these dudes before Shakur even came to 135. They went from saying that they didn't want to fight Devin because he didn't have a belt to the belts don't even matter no more because Devin was still on their tail. All of them. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, everybody at 135 went from saying they didn't want to fight him because he didn't have a belt to then saying belts don't matter because Devin was still trying to fight them. Now, when Shakur got there, Devin already outgrew the weight. He already looking like a skeleton on the scale. Shakur got there, put his name in the ringer. Devin Haney didn't ignore Shakur Stevenson and say, well, you ain't did nothing here yet. I still want these dudes that been in division. No, Devin didn't do that. Devin took it on himself to say, well, you know what? You want a shot at my belts? I'll give it to you. And this is what I'm offering you. Shakur said, I wanted more money. Now, what the part y'all missing is by Devin having all the leverage, he don't have to negotiate shit with Shakur because he don't have to fight Shakur. Shakur don't give Devin nothing because at that point he had already beat Lomachenko. Shakur's name wasn't bigger than Lomachenko. Shakur wouldn't bring more money than Lomachenko, and Shakur couldn't give Devin the belt because Devin had all of them. So if I offer you something like that and you go over my head to find a loophole to get more money out of me, why do I have to stay there for you to get more money? I'm gonna give y'all the example that I always use to people, something that we can all understand. I'm gonna go back to childhood because the simplest thing you can understand is what we went through when we was little. If you my friend, right? My mama gave me a hamburger. You don't have nothing to eat at all. Nothing. You hungry and I know you hungry. So what I do is I say, well, damn, I don't want to eat this in front of you. I'll break you off a quarter of my hamburger. You can have it, bro, because you don't have nothing. But you run to my mama and say, King Judah only gave me a quarter of his hamburger. I want half of it. Me personally, what I'm going to do after you went and told my mama that to try to get more of my burger, I'm going to eat the whole burger in your face and not give you nothing.
That's understandable. But you don't have anything outside influences.
Nice thing, Bo. I like that.
So to me, I hear what you're saying, but I just feel like this, just like we're talking about hold your. See, Bill Haney is Devin Haney's voice. So no matter what, if Bill's out there popping the shit, saying what he say, you see him just like the same situation when it comes to Brian Norman Jr., Senior, and Brian Norman Jr. Here's a prime example. Brian Norman came out there and made it public, being on panels and saying, "Look, my son done told me before, don't say nothing else. Don't talk about that no more. That's you need to leave that alone." And what did Brian Norman Senior say? Okay, I got you, son, and I do that. But when it comes to that's his son speaking, standing, being a man, saying no, don't put that out there, that energy out there. Now, Devin Haney can do the same thing, but he isn't. So if you're allowing, just like what Bill said, oh, my son gonna knock you out, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? And what did Devin do? Stood on business and went in there and tried. He fought the wrong fight. So what I'm trying to say to you is when you have your dad sitting there, because he is the voice for you, saying, "Hey, we staying down. No matter what y'all say out here, y'all talking, and you see the man in the ring right now. We staying here for the whole year with these belts right now. What's up? Anybody can get it, basically." Stand on business. You have somebody that said, okay, I don't want the 20. I understand you're giving me 25%. I feel where you're coming from, but you can't sell me like that. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to make it more realistic and get that 5% more, get 5% more. He chose to move up. That's a duck in my eyes, but that's just
Why
my
wouldn't he
personal
though, bro?
opinion.
Look at how it played out, brother. What you saying? You
I
you you talking
understand,
about you talking about?
but
Let me tell, no, let
listen.
me tell you what you're doing right now. You talking
No,
about
no, no.
something that's completely in our heads, bro. Like you have to look at the reality. The reality is Devin Haney has already been undisputed. The reality is Devin Haney owns Devin Haney Promotions. The reality is Devin Haney makes more in one fight than Shakur can make in two. Shakur didn't win nothing from that at all. He
Yo,
lost.
real fast.
I
Let me get
understand.
to the super. Wait. Let me get to the super chat, yo.
Yep, yep.
Why Bill was able to get Norman Jr. fight through Turkey so easy, but Hearns couldn't Hearns closer to Turkey than Bill? I don't understand that, Butcher.
Um, what I was gonna say is this: is that
And
um,
apparently, Butcher, we're not getting the fight. So yeah, that's right.
yeah, so it's the fight it could still happen because they could still probably save it, but right now, from what the turkey said, it's looking like the fight's off.
If the
You
dude
see
that's
what I'm
if the
saying?
dude that's paying for it saying this shit is off,
Yeah,
then fuck.
yeah. So what I'm gonna say is this: like brother, I see where you're coming from, and I understand where you're coming from. That's why I say, like, look, I'm not against anybody's opinion. You see what I'm saying, or their view. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you're just flat out wrong, then you're wrong. Then I'll disagree with you. But you're entitled to that because you can think like that, and you're coming with logic, just like what I'm doing. I should be able to think like the way I'm thinking, and I'm coming with logic. So that's why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. So that's why I'm not saying you're wrong. You know what
Well,
I
let me
mean?
say. Let me say this, bro. I'm gonna say this real quick, and y'all can have it. But I'm just trying to let y'all know where I'm coming from as a personal viewpoint. I have a trucking business. I'm a trucker. I own my own truck, so I find my own loads. You know what I'm saying? I have to negotiate with
Hmm.
brokers to get these loads, right? And I don't know if y'all know how trucking work. These loads come from shippers. The shippers decide how much they want to pay to get this load moved. They call a broker to get it moved. What the broker gonna do is, let's say this load get moved for $1,000. That's how much it costs to move this load. This is how much the shipper is willing to pay to get it moved. What a broker gonna look at that 1,000 and say they gonna tell me where this load is on. This load is moving for 700. They want to pocket
Yeah,
300,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's up to me
yeah.
to know when I'm getting screwed. What I'm trying to tell y'all is, I don't deal with millions like Devin Haney, right? But I am a businessman. And one thing I don't do when I have leverage, when I know I'm in an area that have limited trucks and you have to get your load moved, and I know I have leverage, I do not let you talk around me to make me give up my leverage. And Devin Haney had all the leverage. I will not let you outmaneuver me to take my leverage. I don't care who you go run to. If I can walk away and still win, that's what the fuck I'm gonna do.
EH, you agree with that?
What are you
EH,
saying
you
about what he
agree with
said?
these stats?
Can
Are
you
you
hear
talking
me?
about?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Yeah, Judah. I'm a trucker too. I own my truck too, Judah. Yeah, no, absolutely. He just
So would you
that's
let a broker?
always
What if
you.
a broker try to tell you, well, if you don't do it, or I don't know your name, brother, I'm sorry, but if you don't do it, there's another truck that'll take it for 500. Or you gonna say, hold on, no, I'll do it for 500. Would you do that, or would you just say, fuck you and the
No,
other truck, give it to him for 500?
no, I would tell him fuck him and his mama. It's like, no, yeah, no, I would
Yeah.
tell him fuck him.
You don't
Hey,
let
but
nobody,
look,
bro.
but
Once you
Judah,
have
but
leverage,
Judah, but Judah,
it's not just business. It's in life general. Once you know you have leverage,
no,
you don't
no,
let nobody
no.
outmaneuver you, no matter what they threaten you with, for you to
But
give
see,
up your
but see,
leverage.
but see, Judah, this is what I was. People like you can have everything you just said with the whole Devin shit with Shakur and all that shit. Personally, I agree with you. But see, this is the thing. You can have a scenario like that, and you and I view it one way, and the other person or somebody else views it another. It's like what you said
Thank you.
to me
That's
applies
what I
to
just
life.
said. Yes, great. Yeah,
But
great.
listen, it's the same way with women. I don't take no shit from nobody. I don't give a fuck how bad you is. If you don't fall in line with what the fuck I'm trying to do, I will walk away from you and go get another one. But some people may think that no, I need to bend a little bit. I need to try to see. This is something that I don't like that happens to black fighters today, and a lot of them concede to the shit. They don't realize how valuable they are. And when they get in negotiations, they always feel like they need to give. I don't never want to see Boots give in to Virgil.
Never.
I
You
never
don't
So
saw
bend.
it.
let
You
me
No.
say
don't
let me
bend
say
unless
hold
you
on, hold
don't
on.
have
Let me
leverage.
say something. Let me say something real quick. Let me say
I'm
something.
not finished. I'm not finished. I'm not
Oh,
finished.
okay. My bad.
When
My
it
bad.
comes to business, how I understand it, it's supply and demand. Whether you providing a service, which is entertainment, or you supplying a product, it's supply and demand. So now, if we bump our supply,
Damn, he faded out. I run my own business too, so I understand where y'all coming from.
Hey, yo, wait, let me get to the super chat real fast. I like Norman Jr. fighting style, but Norman Sr. makes you hate him. You should still show Norman Jr. some love, man. Whether you fuck with his pop or not, he's his own man.
Facts.
My man Butch said that Norman Sr.'s on Mill City Boxing. Ask him when the fight is off. I'm running my business over here, bro. I'm trying to get money over here.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I ain't leaving
He
it.
said, I
I
ain't
got
worried about that.
129 people. I ain't leaving my
Yeah,
129.
I'm with you, YSM.
Hey,
Stay on your ground, man. This is your
hey,
platform. Shit,
hey,
fuck that.
hey, but listen, a lot of
so
what I say,
so
bro.
so so if you selling something or you have a service and you bring in more, the fuck I look like
Look,
giving
So
to you.
I don't know.
Virgil do
So
not
hold on.
sell like that.
So
I live in
let me.
Dallas. Virgil lives up the street from me in Grand Prairie. He do not sell like Boots do. So when we just talking about pure business, Boots don't have to give it to him. He don't have to get because you don't sell like I do. Period. Motherfuckers
What
can
I'm
talk
saying
all of
is,
that other shit when it comes to money. I'm not giving in to you. Only shit about because we got fighters like Benavidez, we got fighters like Bam, and we got fighters like Virgil who are all Mexicans. I don't know why the Mexican community don't come behind them like they come behind Canelo. But in a lot of cases, they don't. So us trying to sell this misnomer that they do, it doesn't happen that way. I'm not saying that they don't have a fan base, but it's not on the level like it is with Canelo. So in the case of Boots being at 147 or 154, he the fucking man there. Ain't nobody fooling out the fucking stadiums like he is in and around that weight class. So he don't need to give in to nobody when it comes to money. Now, if any other view that somebody has about who he should fight and why he should fight him, fine. That's just your fucking view. But I'm talking about the numbers. And that go for Norman, Virgil, and anybody else. When it comes to the numbers, he's proved it. He's proved it twice with people whose name you can't even pronounce. I'm done.
Well, listen, bro. The only way I see a lot of stuff, but I don't just talk from emotion, bro. And a lot of people try to clown me. Oh man, you this and you that. Man, I be trying to educate people because a lot of what I learned, I had to learn it on my own. So I try to
Hey,
pass that
facts. Same
knowledge
here
on.
too, fam.
And
Facts.
if you
And I
don't
run a
have
business too, so I feel what you're saying. I agree with you.
and I'm not,
You know.
I'm not shitting on nobody. That's another thing about me. I'm not shitting on nobody who don't run their own business. But if you don't and you plan to, I'm giving you advice. When you negotiating with somebody, you never let somebody talk you out of your leverage. Never. And the only time you're supposed to bend to somebody is when you don't have leverage. Or when they have something that you want, even though you have the leverage, they may have something you want that override the leverage you have. And what you do is you never bend and give up your leverage. What you do is acquiesce. You keep your leverage, but you acquiesce to give them a little bit more. You never let somebody come to the table like Shakur did with nothing to offer. You didn't have a belt. You wasn't a payday. You wasn't even going to be the best name on his resume to that point. Because even if he would have beat you, Lomachenko's name was still bigger than you, and he already had that under his belt. Devin Haney had nothing to lose.
I
Right.
don't know. So let me say this real quick. So I understand what you're saying about bending the knee. You know what I'm saying, or conceding to somebody. So in your situation, I understand that because you explained that you came with logic, you explained it. But in a situation like with me, I provide a service and I have sales that I provide. I might concede to a person just because the simple fact is I want the deal to go through. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a certain like you come up to me and you say I want $500 worth of freeze dried candy, or I want you to come over here and do this catering job for me, or just anything, right? And I'm sitting there like, no, was what you're asking for. I can't do the 500 because what you're asking for is the product exceeds that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to bump it up a little bit. So I totally understand what you're saying, but in my position, I don't mind doing that. And that's why I'm saying in the situation when it comes to Shakur and Devin, that's a situation where they're just basically negotiating. So therefore, they're when you so in boxing you negotiate. That's one thing you do. You see what I'm saying? Just like when it comes to you know what I'm saying? What you do, you negotiate. So therefore, if you don't concede because you understand that that's the leverage that you have. Just but sometimes, no matter what, you have to respect the fact that because he just like with Shakur, he still does have his accolades. You see what I'm saying? He might not have no belt at the time. You see what I'm saying? But his leverage was his accolades. So that's where he
What
was
do he
actually saying
offer
that you know
Devin though? You still missing the point. What do he offer Devin? His name wasn't
I
even bigger than
no I didn't miss
Lomachenko.
the I
Devin
hold on listen
already
listen
had Devin already
I
had a
understand.
bigger name than him on his resume.
I know, but I didn't miss the point. I understood the point, and I even I referenced the point because he didn't have a bill. You see what I'm
Hey
saying?
yo,
So he's not offering
real,
anything to him.
hey
Yeah,
yo,
but just only thing he's offering. Go ahead, go ahead.
fellas, real fast, right? Like finish making your points, but we talking about something that's like 3 years old, y'all.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
you
Let's
right,
let
you
it
right,
go.
you
Hey,
right.
yeah,
You know
you're
what I'm
right. Let's
saying?
let
Like
it go.
Dad's
Let's
at
hey.
47. Core's still at
Look,
35.
we ain't
Get
even
over it.
look. We ain't even going to talk about that no more. My bad, YSM.
Yo,
Shit,
my
respect,
man, my,
respect.
my man gonna say, YSM still ain't answer. Robert Garcia said Boots said he need two fights before Virgil. That's not true.
You did answer that a
It's a
couple
very
of
yeah,
times.
it's a very simple concept. No, Boots does not need two tune-ups before Virgil. No, Boots does not want two tune-ups before Virgil. Like, what else do you want me to say?
Hey,
Vir-
hey, hey,
Virgil,
hey, hey, Mill, you gotta stop being so politically correct, bro. Just tell them what the fuck
oh
happened,
no,
bro.
I did the bro. One of my correspondents did the interview, right? And whoever told him that it wasn't Boots. Simple as that.
Yeah, YSM. Let me interject real quick about a
Sure.
point you made earlier about um how B Norman and his team are moving. Now, I don't know if you guys remember back when I think Terrence Crawford started, he was with Top Rank and how they moved him along. This is the same formula. Keyshawn getting moved that way, Shakur getting moved that way, they get matchmaked. So B Norman is not gonna stop the money printing machine. He beating up Jen Sasaki's and Centillions. He beating up these lower level fighters. He's not going to stop those paydays to go and get one payday where he might lose to a Devin Haney or a Boots Ennis. That's just not the top ranked formula. So like YSN you stated, they got to get their return on their investment. So I'm not surprised that they're not going to take a Devin Haney fight. They're not going to take a Shakur Stevenson fight. B. Norman and his team at 147 are moving strategically. He's only.
Oh, my man, he must have a black hole. But yeah, as far as the Virgil shit goes, like the reality is, people say stuff in boxing all the time. Somebody may say something to somebody like, yeah, you know, he wants 2 tune-ups, or they're saying that fight won't happen for another year. Virgil's coming off of an injury. I didn't expect Virgil to go right into a fight with Boots. And if Robert heard that, then, you know, Robert heard that. But that's not how Boots feels. That's not what Boots wants. I think that fight happens in 2026. I never thought it happened now. I didn't think it made sense for it to be Boots' first fight and for Virgil to be coming off of an injury. I think that that's something that they'll probably want to build as far as like Matchroom and Golden Boy goes. But no, Boots does not want 2 tune-ups before Virgil.
Yo, real quick before you answer, I just want to say some YSM, bro. I'm about to drop off, but I just wanted to say thank you for letting me come up, bro. I be seeing you around, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be all the way honest with you, bro. I thought you was one of them Tank Davis channels, bro. I don't rock with Tank, bro, so that's why I never really came up, man. But I do want to let you know I appreciate you letting me come up, man. I'm gonna tap in now.
Bro, real fast, I'm a Tank Davis channel. I'm a Devin Haney channel. I'm a Boots channel. I'm a Brian Norman channel. I'm a boxing channel. I like to be fair. Even if I don't like a guy like that, I still like to be fair and give him his just due. Shouts out to Just Do Boxing. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, man, I'm tapped in now, bro. Y'all take it easy.
Appreciate you. All right, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me.
But now it's time for you to get your just. No, my bad. That's wrong channel. All right.
Thomas Hill, you feel like I'll be hating on Tank? I'll be hating on Tank. Yo, Tank fans, if you like, boxing, it's like this now. If you don't think that their fighter is a god and can do nothing wrong, you're a hater, bro.
If you don't think their fighter is the greatest of all time, you're a hater.
I think Tank is a complete fighter. I think Tank is a top 10 pound for pound fighter. I think Tank is one of the best fighters out today. I think Tank's going to get into the Hall of Fame. But I still think there's some dudes that can beat Tank. Like, wow, I got to see these fights. Like, everybody thought that he would knock out Lamont. I thought he would end up stopping Lamont late in a very competitive fight, and I was wrong.
Yeah, facts. I thought he would stop him too, and he didn't. And then I don't know. I don't. I know Tank is a very good. He's a good fighter, but I just don't like how he is. So in the ring, great fighter. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like he's the best. I do feel like his antics is man. If you're a Tank Maniac, man, they don't even hold him accountable, bro. Ain't nobody even talking about. Like when like what he just said to Lamont Roach about his kids, nothing, bro. They just act oblivious, like he don't do nothing wrong, man. And it's annoying.
No, that shit that shit with the kids is out of pocket. Like that's
it was.
But that's how things happen in real life. Like I don't come from a world where you say shit like that and it doesn't materialize in the physical. A dude can tell me they punch me in my face all day long, and then when I see you, you gotta stand on that. When you talk about my kids, my lady, my mom, now like there is no off button. There is no off button.
Yeah, that's why I just don't understand why nobody. I mean, you see where I'm coming from, bro? Ain't nobody like if ain't nobody talking about, bro. They glaze right over like it don't even like it never even happened. You never even said it. But let somebody else say that. Let somebody else's favorite fighter say that. Man, they getting crucified. Let Shakur say some dumb shit like that to somebody, bro. Getting crucified. You know what I'm saying? Let Devin say some dumb shit like that. He gonna get crucified, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
Now they treat Tank like he the 50 Cent of boxing. Like, you know what I'm saying? They expect him to say just wild, ludicrous shit. But no, that was corny. And I don't give a fuck if I like dude, if I don't like dude. That was corny, and I don't Nah, I ain't a fan of corny shit. Leave people kids out of it.
Yeah.
But see, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell y'all something though. The reality is, and this is why I wouldn't suggest it for anybody. But the reality is, because of the access that we have to each other, and when I say each other, I'm talking about people that work everyday jobs and motherfuckers that's entertainers. When you expose yourself on public platforms, you open yourself up for criticism and even insults. That's why it's good to keep your children off camera, because people will just do it. And what happen is you'll be going to war with every fucking idiot that's on social media. That you know what I'm saying? And as a content creator, as an entertainer, whatever you're doing on the internet, if you're selling something, whatever you're doing, you're going to be open for criticism. You're going to be open for insults that sometimes it's not even warranted. Like, people are just idiots and they'll just insult you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to. That's just how it is today. Like, you have to have thick skin. You can't let every little thing bother you, even though, I mean, I come from a town where this shit didn't even exist. So people that were popular to me, entertainers, athletes, I just knew what they did on the screen, on the TV, and that was just it. We loved them for that. I didn't know nothing about what was going on in their personal life, and I didn't care. So the people I grew up with in the neighborhood, we really respected each other. And if there was disrespect, a fight was going to jump off, or a person was going to get killed like that, because you was face to face. It's different today. So you gotta. It's just something that you have to adapt. When you on these public platforms, man, people are gonna say all kinds of wild shit because they're not in front of your face. So what, you gonna go to war with the whole world? You can't, like, you just you. It's very difficult, man, to deal with that. And that's why I say, when I see people acting like that and they go to the extreme, I know they know better, especially when they my age. I know you know better. But they feel like this is what's going to drum up attention. Everybody likes stupid shit, so I'm just going to go to the extreme with it because I'm going to keep a spotlight on it. And that's just what it is. So as individuals, man, we can't let our fellows get ruffled by this kind of stuff, man, because when people know this kind of stuff will bother you, they will purposely do it to you. They'll
Yeah, yeah,
purposely do
that's
it.
a fact.
You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
fact right there.
You gotta be careful with that, man, because you've been
But
wind up this stuff now. The people that you love so much and that you was mad got disrespected, you'll never see them again, or you'll be looking at them through a thick piece of glass for the rest of your life. And that's real. That's real,
yeah,
Uh,
man.
hey, EA, so let me get to these two super chats. We all know Tank slow, so it's cool. Nah, bro, it ain't cool. That wasn't right, especially when it's a dude that you know. You know what I'm saying? My
that's
man
what I'm
Twin
talking about
Lamar
right
says
there.
Boots
That's what
need
I'm
to
talking about
start
right
speaking
there.
up. He's quiet, so they purposely tarnish his name, knowing he won't say much. Man, Boots can't keep letting that shit slide. You got some people, you got some people that love to talk, and you got some people that love to punch on niggas. He's a dude that loves to punch on niggas. Like the all shucks. Like I'm just giving people insight. The all shucks, the smiling and the the
Yeah,
the the,
yeah.
the same frequent phrasing. That's not
Mm-hmm.
him, yo. That's not
Yeah,
him, right? Uh he's not as nice as he's perceived to be. And if he ever start letting that other side out, people will be shocked. So it's good that
you talking about Boots?
it's good that
Yeah,
he's like he stays away from shit.
Yeah.
I can dig that. I
It's
respect that.
good
I
for a lot
respect
of
that.
people that he stays away from this shit. They can say what they want, but I
Another
hope
person
they
that
choose their words carefully in person.
YSM, do you think that this man Bill Haney has has tainted his his reputation just a little bit by talking about Brian Norman Senior's mom, and she has cancer?
No, bro. No. Because the majority of the planet, the citizens of the planet, is fucking idiots. They like stupid shit like that, bro. I'm telling you, it's only a
So,
handful of us that understand that shit is totally inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling, bro, this is why, just like the comment he just got from what they said with Tank, he's slow. Bro, when people like you and they support you, And not even if they like you support you. If they just like a lot of dumb shit and drama and silly shit, bro, they gonna encourage that shit. And the people that run platforms that put that kind of shit on, they gonna encourage that shit. So people ain't gonna never stop doing that shit, bro. They not gonna never stop just saying, wow. I'm telling you, they not, bro. They not.
It's because a lot of them know that they ain't gonna get any repercussions from it. That's pretty much what it is.
I be thinking a lot of that shit staged, to be honest with you. And if it ain't staged, there's like a quiet agreement. You know how two fighters had that quiet agreement where they be hugging and wrestling on each other? I think a lot of times when these guys argue, they already know they're going to say some wild shit to each other because guess what? We're going to get attention on ourselves. It's like a quiet agreement. Because I wouldn't even get on air with you, and I know you're going to say some stuff like that. Or if you did start saying some stuff like that, I would just get off air. I'm not trying to sit here and listen to you disrespect my children or my mom or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, to even engage in that kind of stuff to me is just silly, bro. Like, what? That's not had nothing to do with boxing. We can talk about whooping each other's ass or my son will whip your son's ass or whatever. Okay, that's part of the boxing shit. But when we get outside of that, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, look how long we've been on air and how often this subject has came up about them two going, because they know, bro, that's what's in the algorithms now, man. Like,
you're right about that. Maybe we shouldn't give it the light, because if we don't give it the light, then we don't see it anymore. But
exactly.
my man,
Spending too much energy.
Yeah, my man Dr. Eugene asked me, is that if Boots was guaranteed a 47 unification, would he take it? That shit is over. 47 is over. Now, maybe if you go into a time machine and you bring out Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather, he might do one of them. He might fight one of them. But as far as 47 now, no, he's done, bro. It's over. So dudes could do 100 fucking interviews calling him all kinds of names, bro. He doesn't care. He's done with 47.
Can I ask you something? YSM about Boots real quick? Do you feel like okay? So I know you and Boots is tight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a good relationship. But do you feel like okay? So you know how the topic is that he moves up in weight. He moved up in weight at 147, but he did state at one point in time, because people were sitting there criticizing, saying that he's losing too much weight. You know, that they feel like he needs, like, how do I say it? He's basically like, he looks like a skeleton of himself, like he's hurting to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? He's killing himself. But then he came out and made the statement, says, "I'm making weight easily. I don't know what y'all talking about. You know, I prove it to y'all every time." You see what I'm saying? But do you feel like when he came out and made that statement talking about when he's draining, when he's losing weight for the fight, he's only like a 70% max instead of, he's lost 30%. So do you feel like he shouldn't have made that comment before?
Shouldn't
So
have
that
made
people don't look at it?
which
Yeah,
comment?
the comment that I first said, brought to the
Oh,
table,
you
saying that,
talking about I
he
make the
makes the
weight
weight so
easy.
easy. Yeah. Do
All
you
right,
feel like he
bro.
should have just kind of like dialed back on that, or how do you feel about that? Because
I
now
touched on it in the
the drastic movement. Okay, go ahead. My apologies. Go ahead.
my fault, bro. Finish your statement. I'm sorry, bro.
So so I was just getting at is, because right now how he moved up so quickly and drastically, you have Eddie Hearn saying one thing, Boots needs to move to 154. The Boots is saying, I want to unify. And then all of a sudden, the week that he came out with, the Brian Norman fight, the week of the Brian Norman fight, they make this announcement that he's moving up to 154. That's the reason I was asking. Do you feel like you should have waited, you know what I'm saying, for those kind of comments, or what do you do?
All right. Give me 1 second. I'll answer that. My man, Mr. Mahler said, all Tank said is we can meet at your kid's school. That's talking about someone's kids. Hey, Mr. Mahler, you can like somebody, but we not going to okay sucker shit, bro. You know exactly what he was saying. I know exactly what he was saying. The world knows exactly what he was saying. We ain't from no small town. We ain't from fucking Podunkville. You know what he was saying. So yes, that's talking about somebody's kid. That's taking something. He was tweaking right then and there, and you know he was. But back to the Boots comment. we touched on it in the interview, but I'll just give my perspective. Fighters lie. Fighters lie when it comes to injuries. Fighters lie when it comes to camps. Fighters lie, especially when it comes to weight. Right? A fighter's a warrior. A fighter's not going to tell you when shit is wrong. Majority of the times. Unless it goes completely left where they lose or they look super shitty. They're not going to pull the covers off themselves because in everybody's mind they're viewed as this warrior that's fucking invincible. But the reality are they're men. Like I've seen dudes have terrible camps, and the media said that had a great camp. Oh man, nothing went wrong, man. Great sparring and this and that. I've seen dudes look shitty in sparring and said, "Oh man, I look spectacular in sparring." You know what I'm saying? So fighters are going to be fighters, bro. And is that a valid criticism that, oh, well, Boots, you said this? Yes, it is. But the reality is you've seen fighters 100 times yourself tell you everything was fine. And then after the fight, you realize everything was not fine. So I just think that that's a them thing. And because I'm not a fighter, I understand it, but I don't fully understand it. But that's a them thing. No matter what generation, no matter like what race, that's just a them thing.
Yeah, it's just, a lot of times when you fighters, or it could be anybody, if they're doing a lot of interviews, you got people asking questions all the time. And sometimes you might not be prepared for them. You just might answer them a certain way. You know what I mean? So,
In all the
now it's
interviews,
just,
that I ever heard Virgil do, right? And I bought a ticket to that fight when Virgil was supposed to fight Stanionis. You know what I mean? And then Arboleto and Zapata took the headline when Virgil got sick. And all the interviews I ever heard before that of Virgil, he never talked about feeling bad, making weight, having trouble in camps. You know what I'm saying? So just like Bill said, guys be dealing with stuff in camp and dealing with weight issues and all that. We'll never find out about it. God forbid that they get sick. I mean, unfortunately for Virgil, he got sick. Good thing he was able to bounce back and come back healthy. And then we found out he was killing himself to make weight. You know what I'm saying? They'll never talk about it. They always got to put up the front like Mill said. We Superman. You know what I mean? And it's a fighter thing. Like, they do shit that we don't do. You know what I mean? Like, the shit that they do is just unbelievable, bro. Like putting on a pair of gloves and moving around with a pair of gloves and throwing punches for 36 minutes, bro. That shit is hard, man. Anybody that has never done it needs to just put some gloves on, wrap their hands up, put some gloves on, and just move around in shadow box for 3 minutes, sit down for a minute, get up and do it for 3 minutes. I'm telling you, you're going to be tired after the first round if you don't do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to do that. They need to get on the speed bag and hit a speed bag. Try to hit a speed bag for 3 minutes. Once you learn how to get the timing down, do that shit for 3 minutes. Hit a heavy bag for 3 minutes. I'm telling you, you're going to be tired. Even for people that's in shape and go to the gym, because being in boxing shape and being in just regular, good, healthy shape is different, man. It's just like, it's different for fighters, man. And that's why, for me, it bothers me a lot of times when I see fighters going at each other besides the fight and shit. Because we all, I believe, gonna have our favorite fighters, but I got respect for all of these fighters, man. And I just be wanting to see the best matchups. And that's why when it goes beyond that, shit is just kind of corny after that. It's like, come on, man, y'all fighters. We already know y'all not cowards. Y'all get in the ring and fight a motherfucker man to man. No weapons, no homies, and nothing. It's just you and another man across from you. So for that, you get props, because most motherfuckers in the street ain't gonna do that. If they got a problem with somebody, even gonna try to shoot them or stab them or something, they not gonna fight them. You know what I mean? They not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So for you to do that, like, shit, you already get props for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's like with the boxing shit, it's just like y'all actually get a chance to handle shit in the ring and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So all the other shit is just, but again, like I said, man, it's just different now, man. What sells fights now ain't what sold fights 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just to the extreme now, man. The craziest motherfucker we had in boxing one time was Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, Nowadays, man, people have media, social media that makes it so much easier. If you want information, you can just go look it up. You know what I'm saying? Google this shit and learn how to do something. You know what I'm saying? People learn how to do trades just by Googling it. You know what I mean? And you might have somebody like you're saying 10 years ago, it took them 2 years to pick up that trade. You know what I mean? So just to learn how to do that trade well, you know what they are. But
And that's the beautiful thing about social media. That's what I like about it, because I've learned a lot of shit, learn how to fix shit, do different shit. Because I could just go and be
yeah,
like, I know you might not do it. Let me type it in. But the fucked up part about it is like people just get on there and just fucking, I don't know, a bunch of ignorant shit.
yeah. And another thing, another point to add to it is like when we're talking about just a lot of these fighters when they go into fights. You know what I'm saying? They're not going in there 100%. So they might have injuries, you know, prior injuries. They might have got injured from the last fight and they're still nursing that. They might be still nursing something or just, you know, they might have re-injured the injury, you know, or just, they're not fighting 100%. So that's another thing too. So it all adds up.
For sure, sure. And I think that's what most fighters. I think most fighters going with some kind of injury or something. Yeah,
Sports too. Sports in general. Sports in general. You
right,
know what I mean?
right, for
Sports in
sure.
general.
Sure. Especially contact sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's such
Yeah.
a demand for guys, especially when they the fan favorites. You know what I mean? Like Steph and LeBron and like KD, like shit, they can't afford to be hurt for too long. You know what I'm saying? People
No.
coming to see them, people paying top dollar to go see them. So it's like, man, you gotta shake that little thing off with your knee or with your ankle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in fact, we don't even want people to let people know. You know what I'm saying? That's why,
And let's not,
it was such a big thing with Luca going to LA. But I'm telling you, like, cause I get the ESPN alerts. So when that happened, the alert came. And I don't even watch basketball like that, but I know Luca is. So I read it. And when I read it, the brother is either the manager, he's either the general manager, assistant general manager. But I read what the brother said in the article. Luka is undisciplined, bro. He don't eat right, and he don't like to go through the therapy and the shit that he need to like take care of himself. And they realize, even though you young and you a good player, you probably ain't got that many more years, bro, because you don't take care of yourself. And that's what the dude basically. And I'm not saying what he said verbatim, but he ran it down about how Luka don't eat right. Like he don't do the shit he's supposed to do, bro. That's why they got rid of him, bro. That's
yeah, and
why.
a lot of,
Yeah.
and another thing to add too is you got fighters and sport people that play sports, man. And you at the upper echelon of the game. Shit, you gotta understand these people. They fighting sick. You know they can be sick. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? They still go out there and do the best they can to perform. If they're not bedridden, you know what I mean? So. How many fighters do we know? Your favorite fighters probably fought sick. You know, one of my favorite fighters, Shakur, he fought sick. You see what I'm saying? The Eladel Santos fight. You know, people don't care about that. They don't care that he was sick. All they remember is he ran in that where he was jumping back too far. You know what I'm saying? That's all they remember. They said he a track star. You know what I mean? So this is what it is.
And I'm not gonna say I'm not a Shakur fan because I like the way he fight. To be quite honest with you, I just don't like that whole situation that happened with that phone shit when he was talking to Bill and he had his homie recording that conversation. I didn't like that shit. But when he
So I'm
said
gonna
it,
I'm gonna say this. Do you think that he did that on purpose, or do you think Bill is just putting it out there to make it look like he did that?
see,
Because Shakur said he had nothing to do with that. His boy just did it.
no, but listen, this is the thing though. This is the thing with that because I heard that before. Listen,
Yeah.
even when it happened, you didn't know that your homie was doing it or whatever. When you and Bill got into a disagreement about the fight, because y'all was talking shit back and forth to each other about you could whip Devin ass, Devin could whip your ass, sparring, all of that. Y'all was talking boxing shit. For you to use that video, that means you knew he had it. Bro, that was see, I'm gonna tell you something about that kind of shit though. Like the same way with Keyshawn, right? I was a young bull before. I did sucker shit. But I had old heads that would fucking check me. I had a big brother tell me, nigga, that's some bitch shit. Like, you gotta have motherfuckers in your life that can check you when you do sucker shit. And when you do, you gotta be like, oh man, I can't do that shit no more. See, for them to do the shit that they do and then don't come back and correct that shit, because you're a public figure. So when you fuck up in the public, you gotta correct yourself in public. You can't fuck up in public and then don't say shit. You can't. Now you can, because you got the power to do that, but you're gonna get criticized. And that's the thing. These guys is doing shit in the public, you public figures, you want people to support you, but then when you fuck up, you don't come in the public and correct yourself in the public. It ain't that you fuck up. Because as young dudes, we all gonna fuck up and do stupid sucking shit. We all did it. But when you don't correct yourself in public, then that's where the criticism is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So but I mean, all that aside, when he said his hands was hurt, I believed him. Because I know the type of fighter Shakur is. Then he came back in his next fight and got a stoppage to the body. You see what I'm saying? So when he said his hands was hurt, I believed him. That's just like Khalil Cole. Khalil said, man, I was fucking sick. I was hospitalized a couple days from my fight. And he lost. And then came back and stopped the same dude with a fucking jab in Mexico.
With a jab, yeah. With a jab.
With a jab. With a fucking jab. Beat his ass. He beat that boy ass with a jab. Made him stop on the stool. And that boy is fucking huge.
Here's the thing. People want to pick and choose. As soon as a fight comes around that they like, then all of a sudden weight don't matter. But here's the truth. Devin Haney has fought in 3 weight classes. Shakur's fought 3 weight classes. Virgil Ortiz has fought in 2. Gervonta Davis 3. No, shit. Gervonta Davis 4 weight classes. Sorry. He fought at 40. Who am I missing? Vito Melnicki 3, Jahad Tucker 3, Lorenzo Simpson 2. No, 3. Boots in 9 years hasn't moved up at all.
Nope.
Right?
He's about to though.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like the criticism is you can either end up like Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn where you miss the weight, or you can end up like Virgil where you get hospitalized. You can end up like Khalil Cole and get hospitalized, or you can have a terrible performance like T.O. Weight is not something that you play around with. So if you feel like it's time to move up, move the fuck up. If you feel like you're not cutting weight the right way and it could end up hurting you, pull out of the fight. It's that simple. Like this isn't for play. Dudes get hurting on this. Like Khalil should have pulled out of that fight. Went ahead and went with it, was a warrior and got stopped for his trouble. And you can't take those punches off your chin. Those punches, your chin's a recorder. Once it records the punches are recorded. So you have to be mindful, yo.
But it's just like what's your man name down in Texas? Is that Bushido?
He's in Indiana.
He's in Indiana. That's the cat that just be like, just get in the ring and fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. As fighters, man, fighters gotta take care of themselves, man. Fuck what I'm telling you, man. And I say it, and I'm a fan. Fuck what the fans say. You know what's going on with your body and your health, man. You better take care of yourself, man. Son, fuck that. There's enough fighters out here where every week, if the promoters and the money people want to, they got enough fighters out here where they can put good cards on every week. It ain't always gotta be the people that we know. You know what I mean? There's a lot of unknown fighters out here, young up-and-coming fighters that's good fighters and gonna give us very entertaining fights. You know what I mean? But they just try to milk the handful of popular guys that we like. They want to just keep putting them in the ring all the time instead of these guys fight. They could fight top-level competition if they fight 2 times a year, maybe 3. You know what I mean? Where they can fight and heal up and then get back in there at least 90. Keep putting them in, you know what I mean? at a certain weight to fight a certain fighter, so a guy trying to hold that weight so he can get this big fight with this guy. We done seen this shit play out in front of our eyes over so many years, man. People should be a little bit more knowledgeable about how this sport goes and things that's happening, man, because we done seen it so much, man. And that's why people just gonna like what they like, and they gonna like who they like. No matter how many facts, no matter how many historical scenarios that's played out in front of our face, it don't. People gonna like who they like, and they don't like.
Most dudes ain't never cut weight a day in their life.
Yeah.
They don't know what it feels like. Nor a lot of people don't care. Fighters are objects to them. Another fighter comes out every day, and so the same dude that will tell you to hop in there and just fight is the same dude that will tell you that, oh man, you shouldn't have fought if something went wrong. Oh, don't make excuses. You're right, yo. And at this point, you got to do what's best for you because hey, you breaking up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you gotta do what's best for you, most definitely. Yeah, you YSM, you be getting, I see you out there, man, all over the place, so see you
I'm
moving
trying, man.
around. I'll see you
My
moving
man in the
around.
comments still talking about the tank shit, bro. If you just came there for that,
What happened?
like, bro, we talking. No, I said my man in the comments still talking about the tank shit. Like, bro, we talking boxing here. I said how I felt about the tank shit. If you don't feel that way, cool, bro, we talking about boxing.
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, this is a boxing channel. So
Yeah, you want to talk about like, bro, talk about some X's and O's, man. But it's been 2 hours. I'm gonna head out.
yeah,
And that's
so
crazy.
Hey, great.
That's probably a young man doing that shit too. Why these dudes like gossip so much, bro? God damn.
Hey, YSM, man, great show. Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me up, man. Not even knowing me at all, but now you do, you know.
Appreciate
But
you, bro.
I'll pull back up some more, man. Y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Man, he got good content, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though he a Boots fan, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. That's what's up. I'm a real boxing fan, so I fuck with everybody, even if I don't like him. Like I don't like Tank, but I still respect what he does in the ring. You see what I'm saying? Some of the things I might not respect, like when he took that knee and he turned around, turned his back and walked to the corner. I didn't respect that. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I respect when he took the knee. I just didn't respect when he turned around and he manipulated the ref, telling him, don't, what you counting for? Just certain things fighters do. If they can do this shit. And I'm just making an example right now. I'm just showing that I still respect him. That's all I'm saying for being a fighter. So,
No, but he lost
yeah.
that fight though. That ain't his fault. The judges, you know what I'm saying? The judges is the one
Yeah.
that made the
Facts.
judgment. You know what I mean? He lost that
Facts.
fight though. He lost that fight
Oh, I
though.
know he did. I know he did. Lamont Roach should have won that fight because of the knockdown. He should have won. But you have to understand that's A-side privilege, so that's the reason why it happened like that. And it is what it is, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's you gotta accept it. You know what I'm saying? That's A-side privilege in the motherfucker, boy. For real, for real. But yeah, man. On to the next one, brother. I appreciate you, man,
All right,
and everybody
appreciate
that's on the
that.
panel, man.
All
You
right,
heading out,
cool.
JR?
All right,
Fuck
cool.
yourself.
Get you some rest, homie.
hey,
All right, y'all.
yeah, man.
All right, so
Yeah, for sure, man. Good chopping up with y'all. Catch y'all later, man.